brotherhood in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
And now it's time for the voice.
Don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
I want you to get up right now.
Go to the window,
Open it.
stick your head out and yell.
Rated by Top of the world.
The voice of Ocala with Buddy Martin.
You know I don't speak Spanish. In English, please.
Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality. I know your anger, I know your dreams. I've been everything you wanna be. Oh, I'm the cult of personality. Like Mussolini and Kennedy. I'm the cult of personality.
Welcome to the Voice of Ocala. It's Thursday. That means it's Healthy Living with Lori Martin Gregory. I'm your host, Tom Schmitz. Buddy Martin joins us in hour two. Packed day today on Healthy Living. Lori's going to tell it's how to live for your priorities.
I'm going to teach you how to talk. That's what I'm going to do.
That's good. Well, I need all the help. Is that going to be a symposium for your dad and myself?
I don't know, but we might need more than just my segment to do it.
We may need. Lori's here joining us. We're also going to talk pop culture today. A lot going on in the pop culture world.
A lot going on in pop culture.
Season finales all over the place on television. Series that are iconic coming to end. Mm-hmm. Hangover 3.
Another end. The last in the trilogy.
Last in the trilogy.
The Wild Boys at the Wolf Pack.
But let's get right into the pop culture. Friday evening.
That's like a year ago.
Yeah, but
in Lori time.
But you attended The Great Gatsby?
I did.
Did you attend the festivities as well?
I didn't really. I sort of grazed the edge
So
on
you
my
didn't get
way.
any of the good food from the cup or anything?
No, I didn't. We couldn't go to the 7 o'clock.
Oh, y'all went to the 10 o'clock.
So I
That's
knew
right.
if I went
Upstairs.
too early, I wouldn't make it through the film, which...
I've done that before. You and I.
You were the guy falling asleep that I was nudging.
What was it? It was what movie was
Hunger
that?
Games.
Hunger Games. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because it was a real snoozer.
Right.
Wasn't a big fan either of that.
No, Lori kept nudging me. You're snoring.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was a midnight movie. I learned that the midnight movies
Don't
when
care.
I was 18.
No excuse.
Much easier to do than a midnight movie when I was 46.
I should have slept through the Avengers. If I was smart, I would have.
You would have, yeah.
I don't even like the 10 o'clock movies.
The 10 o'clock is brutal, and, I don't know, I think about 2 years ago, Hollywood decided if they made longer films, they could charge us more money.
Yes.
So now the, 90-minute perfect-length movie is gone. Everything's 2 hours plus.
Anything from 90,
Yeah.
anything from 90 to 100 minutes is perfect.
Yeah, but we're talking 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, now you're getting movies out
And,
there.
you're sitting there for, 30 minutes watching previews before that anyway.
Yeah, now you're getting.
Right.
I was watching on my satellite the other night. A movie came on. Running time, 153 minutes. Who wants to sit through a movie for 2 hours?
Well, at
and
least
33
you're at
minutes?
home. You can pause it and go get some
Well,
refreshments.
of course, but still, 2 hours and 33 minutes.
2 hours or
And
1 hour
33
and 53 minutes?
No, it was 153
Oh,
minutes.
I see. So, okay, 2 hours and...
2 hours
right.
and 33 minutes.
Yeah, that's too long.
That's way too. Look, Goodfellas was an hour and 58 minutes.
We've supersized our movies just so that Hollywood can justify charging us a higher price at the box office.
We've supersized everything in life.
That's
why we're
foolish.
not healthy anymore, because we
Quality.
supersize everything.
It's quality, not quantity.
But not so, because you can still get a 64-ounce Coke. You can
Not
still
in New
get
York.
They didn't back off the
Oh.
the mayor had to back off that.
Oh, he did?
Oh yeah, that was a big deal. He got told he
They
couldn't do
already reversed it? That didn't
that.
last
They
long.
reversed it before
So you
it
know
ever
what?
went. No, they reversed it before it ever went into effect.
So it probably was never going to go into effect? It was just a political statement.
Of course it was.
Right. So,
Of course it was.
Okay.
So, did the movie? You and I were concerned that the movie might not live up to the event that was planned by the Friends of the Mayor.
Well,
how was the movie? in your
The
estimation?
event was awesome.
Or the event was awesome.
And one of the biggest thrills for me was sitting in the theater and watching people, because I was upstairs, the exits
Much
are on
smaller.
It's smaller, but also the exits are in the front on the sides.
Right.
So watching people get up to go to the concession stand or the bathroom in the middle of the film and seeing them in costume, I felt like we were watching the film in the era that it was made. It was really a trip, and it was super fun. So I'm sitting there watching the film, and I see, a guy in a seersucker suit with his cane top hat, whatever they're called, just like sort of scooting out to go out the theater to go get himself some popcorn. And I mean, that
he was watching
like
a movie from the 1920s.
correct,
Right.
And flappers getting up to, that was really fun. That made it
Did
really
Lori
fun.
have on a flapper outfit?
I went as a movie reviewer,
So you were in jeans and a shirt.
kind of.
Yeah, wonderful.
So, it was a good movie. It was better than I expected. I had previewed.
You had low expectations.
Well, I previewed some of the reviews in advance, so I knew what some of the critics were saying. It wasn't Leonardo DiCaprio's best movie,
No, that was Django Unchained.
but some people really interpreted his performance as being in character, and I didn't buy it. I just felt like it. He looked great. When he first came on screen, and he's at his big soiree in his giant mansion, and I'm not giving anything away, by
No,
the way.
because I'm going to see it this weekend.
He turns around, and they've got his eyes all electrified blue. I mean, the girls behind me in the row behind me were like going to pass out. Oh, there he is! I mean, they were swooning.
Wow.
I know. I thought he's really a heartthrob box office megastar now.
Now, I've heard from 3 or 4 different people that Tobey Maguire almost stole the movie.
Well, Tobey Maguire, I think, if I were a casting director, that's the kind of role I would always put him in. He was never Spider-Man to me. That was a miscast.
It was way miscast.
And, he's a very sort of mild-mannered, meek-ish, sort of bookwormish intellect. That's sort of the persona that that's his type. So that was perfect for the role of Nick Carraway. I mean, he was perfectly cast. It was well cast. Baz Luhrmann did a nice job. It was a very pretty movie. I felt like I was watching a music video almost through the whole thing because it was so pretty. You'll see the first scene where they introduce Daisy Buchanan. There's all these gossamer curtains or a flutter in this giant atrium where they're all waiting for dinner, and it's just very it's very dramatic.
That's my problem with these type movies.
But you kind of know that going in, don't you? It's a period piece.
I'm a huge reader. I read a lot. Mm-hmm. And The Great Gatsby is one of my top 20 all-time reads,
right,
without a doubt. Mm-hmm. And so I've created through my own imagination
your own movie about it.
My own movie about it.
Okay, you might really like this then, because I was with my friend Cass, and she just recently reread it, and she felt like it was to the book.
Really?
Completely. Like, I read it in high school. I don't remember it. I don't remember it at all.
I read it last week getting ready to go see the movie.
So she did the same thing, and she felt like it was just absolutely spot on to the book. So you might really enjoy it because of that.
I'm kind of a freak, though, with my imagination, so I may not imagine it the same way that the movie is. But it could be close.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what your take is.
Because I'm very. That's why I don't like to go see movies that are made after classic novels and stuff, because I've already created that movie in my head.
Yeah, well.
That's what,
so you didn't see Sense and Sensibility or any of those?
No, I didn't see. The last movie that ruined it for me was The Lord of the Rings. Because I have a vision of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and The Hobbit in my head, and the movies just didn't add up.
Yeah, I didn't read the trilogy. I read a third of the trilogy in high school. I never read the whole trilogy. But I used to feel similarly. But then I saw Little Women. I thought was really well.
I thought it was really, really a good movie.
So that kind of changed my point of view on expectations of going in, and The Help also, I thought they did a fairly nice job being true to the book.
Did not read the book.
There were a few things they changed, but for the most part, I was as touched by the story of the film, as I was by the book.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing The Great Gatsby.
I think you'll enjoy it.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we got to talk a little TV because season finales
are all over.
I'm so
mad
over.
at you, though. I can't even talk
I've
about
not
what I
watched
want to talk about.
I've not watched Mindy Project. It's at home on DVR.
JJ, have you still not watched The Mindy Project?
No.
Oh, my
He's
gosh.
missing out.
She was on The Daily Show. Didn't you watch The Daily Show like every night?
No.
Okay,
He's missing out on
I'm going to launch a campaign.
Massive entertainment.
Yeah.
On JJ. Talk about a iconic show, or is it an iconic show that's coming to an end?
Oh, I wonder which one are you
Tonight's
doing?
the final episode.
Oh, okay.
And we'll talk about season finales. Your dad gave me a little heads up about NCIS, one of his favorite shows.
Oh,
which is one of my favorite shows.
Hate it.
I like those kind of suspense shows.
My really good friend is Chris O'Donnell's coach. Are you talking about the one?
No, not
on...
Los Angeles. I don't.
Oh,
like
you're
that
talking about the New York one with Mark
Harmon, and it's in Washington.
Do you like it because of Mark Harmon?
No, not so much. I like it because of the dialogue and everything.
I can't watch dead body shows anymore.
Yeah, they are a dime a dozen.
I'm so over it.
They are a
It's
dime a
toxic
dozen.
for your brain. I'm going to have to do a cleanse on you now.
And then life priorities. That's what we're going to do in Healthy Living.
Yes, how to live your priorities.
How to live your priorities. Boy, I need help in that
How
area.
to really live it.
I need help in that area because I don't even know what my priorities are, probably.
Well, see, that's what we're going to talk about.
Really.
We're going to talk about how to find out what they
Well,
are.
there you go. We'll do all that next. Lloyd Martin Gregory joining us for Pop Culture and Healthy Living on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source. This reprise of Ask the Cops is proudly brought to you by Daniel L. Hightower, PA, lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976.
I used to be in the military, and I had a question about tasers because they weren't as available back then. I was wondering, are all the officers required to carry tasers?
Well, I'll tell you, our officers, they're not required to. They're required to carry two types of less than lethal force, and we give them an option of pepper spray, a baton, or a taser. The vast majority of the Ocala police officers carry them, and they work really well. A lot of times they just pull them out and put the laser on the guy or girl we're trying to arrest, and they usually give up, so we don't have to use them too much. I know the sheriff's office has them too.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless the recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA, lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
The AP is reporting that 2 explosions at the finish line of the Boston Marathon.
There's 3 people confirmed dead at Boston Marathon.
Multiple people injured.
Explosion at the Boston Marathon.
Report of another possible device at the Mandarin.
Our 6 reported injured, no death. Workers felt the blast all the way over from Newburyport Street.
The Voice of Ocala, your eyes and ears when it really counts.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Ron Felber. He's a retired deputy sheriff, transported federal criminals, fought Golden Gloves, and holds a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. He's coming out to speak about his book, A Man of Indeterminate Value.
Open for debate, where you get to choose the topic.
And then Brad Boersma and Josh Verdunk will be on the air with their show, Winging It from Ocala Aviation Flight School.
Marjorie Hines is a civil liberties lawyer. She's written a book called Priests of Our Democracy, the Supreme Court, Academic Freedom, and the Anti-Communist Purge.
And then it's Ocala Magazine Radio with your host, John Sotomayor, the executive editor of Ocala Magazine.
Don Snyder is a New York Times best-selling author. He's written a new book called Walking with Jack, a father's journey to become his son's caddy.
And they will tell you some of the things that you can do this weekend and in the upcoming weeks with the Viva Florida 500 set of events. All of that plus Fun with Joe right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
If you want to avoid getting ripped off and put more money in your pocket, then join me, Clark Howard, every weeknight at 6, right here on WOCA, The Source.
Hey, Larry, nice haircut.
Oh, thanks, Robin. Looks like you had something different done, too.
Yes, I did. Thanks for noticing. I went to Lupe at Merle Norman on the Boulevard for a fresh cut, some summer highlights, and a facial.
No kidding. That's who I go to. I didn't know she did all that.
She does coloring, waxing, styling, updos, microderms, and she does it all for prices that won't break the bank.
Sounds like you can take the whole family there.
As a matter of fact, I do.
Hi, this is Lupe. Let me be your personal stylist. To set up your appointment, call me today, 426-1229.
Hello? Can you hear me? Because if you can, then so can your customers. Radio works. Call today to advertise your business right here on WOCA 1370, The Source.
The heart of the county. We're WOCA, News Talk 1370.
Hi, Buddy Martin here. I'll be along next. Stay tuned right after Laurie and Tom on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA. Don't touch that dial.
I wandered around and I finally found the somebody who
JJ playing old Blue Eyes for us there. You can never go wrong playing Frank
Sounds
Sinatra.
kind of sentimental there.
JJ's a big Frank Sinatra guy.
Really? I had no idea.
JJ's eclectic when it comes to his music. You just don't know. JJ listens to country music. That's recent, though.
Yeah, that's within the last.
That's in the last
few,
six,
3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Like, what do you like on the country music spectrum?
He likes all of it now. He likes all
I
of
love
it.
a lot of country music. Eric Church is my guy, though. He's my go-to.
Yeah, he's. And JJ's a big classic rock guy. That's really his favorite, is the classic rock. But he'll throw some Dean Martin and some Frank Sinatra on you.
Wow.
Surprise you. And I would be surprised if he knows something.
And rap music. I know a lot about rap
I would be surprised if he knows something about Miles Davis, a little cool jazz going on.
I know a little bit about everything.
But
So, like
not
the birth,
much about anything.
Like the birth of the cool, like that era, Miles, or?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
got no clue.
Okay.
So,
We'll
but
talk about that later.
it's Tom Schmitz on the Voice of Ocala, along with Laurie Martin Gregory. Laurie, real quick before we get back to pop culture, let's talk about something going on in national news. The president now has decided that he doesn't need an independent counsel to investigate the IRS. His own Justice Department will do those investigations. The same Justice Department that's under scrutiny for wiretapping or looking into phone records, actually, of AP reporters and everything. What the AP is calling a violation of their First Amendment freedom of speech rights. Is the president just... Well, not even the president, is this administration, because it's not just the president. His advisors are talking to him and everything. You can't put it on his shoulder. Even though the buck stops at his desk, this whole administration, have they just decided that we got reelected, we can't run again, so we're going to throw caution to the wind, and it's better to ask forgiveness than it is to ask permission? What's going on?
Honestly, I just kind of go brain dead whenever I read anything or hear anything about politics. I'm so frustrated, disenfranchised, completely disillusioned. I feel like anybody who is attracted to politics at this point in time has not less than honorable intentions. I feel like, it feels like such an exercise in futility. I just don't know how we can continue this process and get any kind of justice and balance for our nation. I just don't understand.
And
what do you make of it?
The scary thing that I think is that your opinion that you just gave
is the majority.
Is the majority opinion.
I mean, I
Without
still
a doubt.
vote, but I feel like I just feel like I don't trust my government, and that's a horrible feeling.
And it is exactly, I think, what everybody thinks.
And it's not Republicans, Democrats,
It's government on the
independent.
whole.
It's
on the
anybody
whole,
on the Hill. Anybody on Capitol Hill, anybody in the Washington, D.C. area that calls themselves a politician.
Anyone inside the Beltway that works in politics.
Correct. This is one of the reasons why I like that show Veep on HBO.
It's a very good show.
It's a very funny show. It's very
Julie
smart.
Louis-Dreyfus.
It's crass, but it really feels to me like it's probably a lot like what happens in Washington.
The episode, I literally could see, and not picking on Joe Biden, although give me any opportunity to pick on Joe Biden, and I'll do it, but Not to pick on Joe Biden, because Dan Quayle wasn't the smartest guy either. Let's
please.
be
That's
honest.
the understatement of
right,
the decade.
Exactly. That episode where she's at the pig roast and she has the cowboy hat on and it's messing up her hair and everything, and she's more concerned with how her hair is going to look for photo ops.
It's so funny. I mean, I think one of the reasons why when they're behind the scenes, when they're in their offices or they're not in front of the public, the dialogue is so crass and so harsh. It shows the juxtaposition of how phony and fake they are when they're in public. And it's just like a complete 180. And I bet you it's really a lot like that in Washington. There's so much obsession over now social media and, just basically managing.
You always have to be on when the cameras are on.
They spend more time managing the public's perception of them than they do actually serving the public.
That's because we, as the public, are much more concerned with perception being reality than we are substance of what they're doing.
But we're so apathetic.
We're a TMZ nation.
But now the apathy is at such a high level.
Yeah, like guys like JJ. I bet JJ doesn't even come close to a voting booth because he's like, what good would it do? They're all crooks out making money for themselves. They're not helping me. Is that pretty much accurate, JJ?
No, that's not why I vote.
But you don't vote, correct?
Yeah, but not by my choice.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
No, it
Let's
doesn't.
talk about that.
No, we can't.
Oh, come on.
So anyway,
Are you from another country?
He is.
Yes.
I knew he was an alien. I knew it. He's from another planet.
Men in Black.
Okay.
So, but the president's really digging himself a hole.
Are we going to get that flash now where we can't remember anything?
We probably are.
We won't remember this conversation?
The president's really digging himself a hole, though, with all the stuff that's come out. Now, I don't know what the end game is.
I don't know what to believe, though, Tom.
I don't know what the end game is.
Where's the truth? I don't really trust anybody, so I don't even know what to believe.
All I know is when people who have backed you for so long are now saying you violated their constitutional rights.
Well, that was happening before the election. Before he was reelected, people were saying that.
Right, but CNN,
so now it's just getting, there's more people saying.
Yeah, more people are piling on.
Right.
And people who have been staunch supporters of the Obama administration are now running for the exits in droves.
I just don't know what to make of it. I mean,
and usually when you have a bad situation like that, when people cut bait and run, as old boy from South Georgia says, that's because there's something in the water you don't want to be near.
Right.
It's my perception. That's enough political talk.
Yeah, it's just kind of, I'm feeling a little nauseous now.
Let's go away from that.
Okay.
Let's talk about The Office.
Okay.
Comes to an end tonight. Final episode. I tried with diligence to watch this
Did you really
show.
try?
I watched. I've probably seen 25 episodes of
I don't
this
think
show.
you try hard enough. JJ, do you think he really tried?
What is the draw to this show that so many people... I mean, I have friends of mine that collect bobbleheads of The Office. I have friends of mine who they plan Thursday nights around watching the episode of The Office.
There's probably a lot of people. I've been in a job just like the people in The Office. I've had that job.
See, I've never had an office job, so
that's why we have to talk in the next segment about how to live your priorities.
I've never had an office job. So
not that there's anything wrong with an office job, but it doesn't feel like the people in the office really want to be there. It feels like they're sort of there by default.
That's the point of the show.
That's the point of the show, right? So I think it speaks to a lot of people who feel like they're in dead end positions. I think there's a lot of people that feel that way, and that's not really, that doesn't always feel good.
See, and I guess that doesn't make up my makeup because I'm the guy that says, it'll work out, whatever.
Right, but you also like what you do.
I do. That's the thing.
That's the key.
You're not going to get rich in radio.
Right.
Trust me on this. Unless you're a big national celebrity. There's no money in being on the air in local radio.
Right.
No get rich money.
But you're happy.
But it's a fabulous job. And the adage is, find a job that when you go to work every day, it doesn't feel like you're at work.
I don't think anybody at Dunder Mifflin would fall into the category of really being passionate about their career. I think that's a group of folks that are in a job, not a career. And that's sort of the
kind of like JJ
that's the
here.
Comedic spin.
Kind of like JJ here.
He's
in a job, not a career.
I don't think that's true. Is that true, JJ?
JJ's career, he would want to really be a soccer player in the Premier League. Is what he'd like. That's what he'd love to do.
I don't know if that's a career. I think that's...
It pays well, though, doesn't it,
It's
JJ?
like winning the lottery, though, isn't it?
Premier Soccer League. So are you going to watch the final episode of the...
No, don't care.
Of The Office?
No, Gary will watch it. I don't care. I think it's really boring.
A lot of season finales this week. NCIS had its season finale.
Mhm.
The Good Wife season finale. Golden Boy show I like, that your father likes.
Mhm.
It had its season finale. It had actually its finale period.
Which one has
After
been the
one
best?
season,
What's
gone.
Oh, it's gone?
Done.
Oh, bummer.
And a pretty good show. It had one of my favorite actors, Shy McBride, in it.
Oh, really?
And Shy McBride's just a great guy. I don't know if you've ever met him or anything. He was in Boston Public. He was the principal in Boston Public.
Was he the blonde? Oh,
No. Shy McBride's a large
not Boston
African-American
Legal,
man.
Boston Public.
Boston Public. He was the principal of a school in
I
Boston
don't
Public.
remember.
Shy McBride's a big African-American man
Uh-huh.
who, besides Mike Tyson, does the best Mike Tyson of anybody breathing. And he's in this show, too, and it's a very good show, but they've canceled it because that's what they do when people don't watch. They cancel the great shows like Smash, which was the behind-the-scenes look of Broadway.
Unless you're somebody like
Canceled.
Arrested Development
There
coming
you
to
go.
Netflix
I know,
next
it's coming
week.
to Netflix. I know. Arrested
May
Development.
26th. That's going to be fun.
So, I guess TV's done, and I don't understand the whole TV cycle. Don't try to understand it because they go on like a month and a half hiatus, and then they come back and show you 4 more episodes, and they show you reruns for like 3. I remember when I was a kid, they ran 15 weeks of TV back to back to back, and that was the season.
Mhm.
And now they chop it up in there. So I don't know.
Right. Well, a lot of it depends on special events that might be going on or what they might be up against for special events, or if the show's going to be cut or not, if it's going to be extended. If it's a new show that's now all of a sudden popular, they want to show reruns to try to pull in a bigger audience. Or if a show's already getting canceled, they want to test some new shows. So they really try to, it's all very targeted to demographics, and there's so much test marketing that happens. In fact, I already have a preview of what's coming out for the fall, the new shows that are coming for fall. So we can talk about that next week if you want.
Of course, tonight's big episode, The Office goes off the air, series finale. Then
And
the
30
other-
Rock was off like a while ago, right?
And the other season finale tonight that I still have no idea why this show keeps getting another year. Grey's Anatomy's finals tonight. I have no idea.
I can't believe that show is still on.
It's the dumbest show. It's a hospital full of sex maniacs who just sleep with each other. It's terrible.
The first 2 seasons I thought were very good, and then it just kind of went downhill
It just
from
became
there.
a huge sex romp, and it's just useless.
And the spin-off that I really liked, Private Practice, got canceled. Don't get it.
So there you go.
Yeah.
When we come back, speaking of priorities,
Mm-hmm.
TV priorities, we're going to talk about how life priorities, how to live your life priorities. And I don't even know what my priorities are, or how to find them. So you're going to help me with that, too.
I will.
We'll do that next. Lori Martin Gregory, Healthy Living, on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin for WinStar Medical Research. Every day we hear another story about innovation or about the cutting edge of technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. But did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that will impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name WinStar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize WinStar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at WinStar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people are right now. WinStar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend an opportunity to you to be a part of these. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. WinStar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. WinStar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors visitors are always welcome, and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
WOCA.
Well, the new year is upon us, and that means getting to those forgotten projects that you promised you would. So whether you're tackling a small honey-do list or building the Taj Mahal, Sunbelt Rentals will help you get the job done right with the right tools. From carpet cleaners to excavators, Sunbelt Rentals has what you need. So what are you waiting for? Get it done. Rent it now. From Sunbelt Rentals, located on Highway 27, just a half-mile east of I-75. Or visit sunbeltrentals.com. Get it done. Rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals.
You know what a photobomb is, right? It's when you take a photo of someone and someone else suddenly thrusts themselves into the photo. It's supposed to be funny and ruin the picture, but sometimes it actually makes a better photo, a better end result. Well, that's what happened to me at Kenny's Place Nursery. Well, sort of. I was looking at some flowers when these caladiums caught my eye. It was like being photobombed by a plant. Well, it worked. The caladiums from Kenny's Place Nursery now sit beautifully in my garden with my floral plants. And if the wind is blowing just right, you might find yourself taking a photo of a rose and get photobombed by one of those caladiums. Kenny's Place has caladiums in a variety of colors, and the 1 gallon size is only $3.50. Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. Kenny's Place Nursery, where the plants, the people, and the mission are all beautiful.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA, The Source.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're ocalaforsale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to ocalaforsale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Hi, Buddy Martin here. I'll be along next. Stay tuned right after Laurie and Tom on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA. Don't touch that dial.
We're back on the Voice of Ocala, Healthy Living with Lori Martin Gregory. I love anytime you hear a trumpet that's got a muffler. What do they call it? Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. A mute. Anytime they got that sound.
I just instantly feel like I'm in a ball gown having champagne.
And when I was a little kid, we would go to, they would have Knights of Columbus dances and all for my mom and dad, the Catholic Church, you know. And the kids, all the kids would go and we'd be in a certain area. And I thought the coolest man in the world was a guy in the Deep South. You call every grown-up that's a close family friend uncle or aunt.
Right.
And Uncle Red was the drum player he was the drummer for the jazz band that always played these dances. And he had the drumsticks that didn't look like drumsticks. They looked like metal feathers.
Right.
And I always thought that was just the greatest thing. He was playing drums with these feathers, but they were made out of metal. And I forget what they're called, but I thought he was the coolest cat in the world because he was able to play a snare drum using those feather-type drumsticks. So that was, that's how I fell in love with jazz, was watching 40-year-old men play it at the Knights of Columbus when I was like 5 years old.
That's perfect. They had no idea the lasting impression they were leaving on your young mind.
It really was. Speaking of...
Those are called brushes, by the way.
The brushes. Mm-hmm. Speaking of lasting impressions, priorities. Everybody has priorities or should have priorities. And I'll tell you my problem. You tell me if what you're talking about today can help fix this. Every week I start out the week on a Sunday night. I make plans for everything I'm going to try to accomplish during the week.
Right.
I'm going to add some exercise time in. I'm going to make an hour worth of phone calls on sales. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get that done. Mm-hmm. And usually by Wednesday or Thursday, I'm like, I've got absolutely about a third of what I need to have done by now. I have no clue how to get all of it done. Where'd I go wrong?
I think that's a classic mistake because what a lot of us do, and I'm guilty of this as well, is we overstack our list. And we put everything on the list with the best intentions of getting it all done, but we really set ourselves up for failure because we put more on the list than we can actually accomplish.
Well, how do I then...
do that?
Yeah. You said you were going to talk about living life's priorities.
Right. So
I don't even know what my priorities should be, or if I know them and just don't realize I know them.
I think most of us don't know what they are. I think for a lot of us, this is where having your heart and your head be connected is really helpful. And there's an old Native American saying that the 12 inches from the heart to the head is the longest 12 inches in the world. Because if you can really coordinate your energy so that your heart and your head are working together and they're listening to one another, then you have an opportunity to know yourself better, to be clear about what your priorities really are, and then to make choices with your actions that reflect your priorities. I'll give you a perfect example. If you ask any typical American, what are the three most important things in your life? Most people will, in one of those three things, will say their health. But most of them don't do anything to make themselves healthy. They're unconsciously making choices about what they think is important, but it's not really matching up with what they say is important. And I have no doubt that for a lot of us, we really do feel that our health is the most important thing. But having that feeling tone in your heart about something that's very meaningful to you, and then plugging that into your brain and wiring it into your daily routine so that every decision that you make is reflective of achieving that priority or that goal, is what's really the key step.
And
so I have three things that will help you do that.
Yeah, because I need help, and I'll tell you, I'll give you.
Does that make sense, or does that sound like mumbo jumbo?
I know exactly what you're saying, and I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
You know as well as I did the 90-day cleanse with you.
Right.
But that was because I'd made a commitment for 90 days, and we were going to talk about it on radio. And after the 90-day cleanse, I tried to stick with it, and about 2 months afterwards, I was back to doing what I'd normally done.
Right.
So I got to 301 pounds. So I went and Lisa Midget at KMF Fitness, and her great training staff, Meg, Shannon, and Katie, they worked me out and everything, and I went because I was committed to doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And now I haven't done that for about a month and a half, and after I stopped doing it, I was working out daily.
So there's
I'm down to where I'm working out 3 times a week.
So there's a pattern there, which is having it be a public activity has incentivized you because you have to talk about it on the radio.
I have to do it because it was part of my job.
Because it's part of your job.
Right.
But then somewhere between having to do it and feeling legitimately and authentically motivated to build it into your life, clearly neither of those systems affected you, or nor maybe did you allow them to affect you on a deep enough level to then decide that that's what you're going to do. But I will say this, in both of those instances, you are choosing to modify your behavior to sort of rectify past sins, okay? So neither of those activities are to just because it feels good and you're at your optimal place of where you want to be. Both of those activities happen in a time in your life where you're trying to make a correction of choices from the past that have led you to a place where you don't want to be, correct?
So it's not ultimately that I'm just lazy.
No, it's that you're.
Because I am lazy, by the way.
You're making an effort to bring yourself back to a state of balance.
Yeah, I want to go. I would literally like to be where I was in my mid-20s.
Right, which you can do. But the key to that, there's 3 things that you can do to help yourself get there. And the first thing is you have to really be clear about what your priority is. You have to be clear. And, that really starts with clarity of mind, clarity of heart, and being willing to declutter your mind enough so that you can hear yourself. Look, we live in a world that is filled with overstimulation. Right now, we're on the radio. A lot of us are driving. Most of us have either a cell phone in our hand or in front of a laptop and are looking on the screen. There's a TV screen going on behind us. There's a window, 2 windows here that people are walking by. And we're doing a radio show.
All of that right now.
All right now.
And we're all three doing that. JJ's.
That's correct.
As you look, and I'm on my laptop listening to you, and on my laptop.
Yes,
you have
I'm
your
holding
phone
my
out, talking to
iPhone.
us.
Yes.
You look at the TV.
Yes.
JJ, I
Yes.
guarantee you got a game going on the computer.
He's running the
watching
board.
TV. He's running the board. He was on his phone while you were talking.
Correct.
We're
over,
a group of the world is multitasking.
But it's beyond multitasking. It's to the point of overstimulation. So that when you go to your quiet place, when you're alone, when you go to your spiritual workbench, whatever you want to call it, when you're in that quiet place where it's just you and the universe, it's really hard to even hear silence.
I don't have one of those places.
Well, you need one. And the best place to start is, this is a fancy word that for most of us, we hear it and we go, huh, what? And we think maybe some, yogi from India in a robe and long hair and beads. But meditation is really just a fancy word for sitting and breathing. It's very unusual, but yet exceptionally beneficial to just be and not do. If all of us took 5 or 10 minutes every day to just be instead of do, the world would transform. It's just sitting quietly, focusing on your breath, and allowing yourself to try to think of nothing, which is really hard to do.
Yeah, that would be really difficult for me to do.
But you know what? It's the most powerful gift you can give yourself in terms of clarity. Because what you're going to do is you're going to quiet your mind. You're going to be still. You're going to cultivate some stillness in your own mind long enough to hear what's in your heart. And it might just be 60 seconds a day where you sit in a chair, you set your timer on your iPhone or your phone or your egg timer or whatever you've got to 60 seconds, and you just breathe. There's something to be said in the beauty of nature of just watching a tree be a tree. You don't see an apple tree trying to be an orange tree. It's not doing anything but being. And that's why a lot of us really find serenity and peace in nature. Because nature is just being what it is. And at the heart of all of us, that really is our true nature, is to just be these beautiful emanations of God that we all are. We are all completely like the snowflakes, each one totally different and unique.
My problem with that is I tried that recently. I was at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And I was staring out at the ocean all alone. It was right at sunset. Nobody with me, no noise or anything. I'm sitting there, and all I could think about was, wow, just imagine the Nina, the Santa Maria, and the Pinta coming over on that boat.
Well, history is a passion for you.
That's what I was thinking about.
Right.
I didn't see the tranquility of the ocean at sunset.
And that's
I
great.
thought of, wow, those 3 boats full of men really did something amazing.
So history's passion for you. So in that moment of stillness, your heart came up with what you're passionate about.
Oh,
so you
I
see how it was already happening and you didn't even realize it. Now the opportunity is, if you try this exercise again, and believe me, this is why meditation is called a practice. This is something that you practice. It doesn't just happen. You practice. You practice cultivating stillness. So the next time, if you can sit and look, and if something pops into your mind, is to observe the thought without judgment and think, oh, isn't that interesting? I went to history. That's my passion.
Huh.
And just watch it float by. Watch the thought just float by without judgment, and then refocus on your breath, and again, just try to have an empty mind.
Huh.
You won't, because things will always come up, especially when you're piling on layers and layers and layers all day of overstimulation. There's so much stuff in our minds that we can't even hear our own hearts. So if you really want to be clear and you want to live your true priorities, the first step is find a few minutes every day. Make it a priority to cultivate just a few minutes to be clear. And I'll tell you the other 2 steps when we come back.
You're listening to Lloyd Martin Gregory's Healthy Living on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com, The Source.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none, and we have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family will ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day. Whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands, at Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
So what did you do with your weekend? Me? I was flying, because I'm taking flying lessons from Ocala Aviation. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, hey, I'd like to give that a shot, but I'm not quite sure. Well, I've got the solution. It's called the Discovery Flight, and that's exactly what it is. It helps you discover the wonder of flying and if it's for you. It's only $99, and it gives you the chance to learn a bit more about the airplane and then actually go for a ride with a flight instructor and take control of the airplane. That's how I got started, and now I'm on my way to being a pilot. I know, scary thought, right? But the demand for qualified pilots is stronger than ever. And with the help of Ocala Aviation, you could make a career change and learn to be a commercial pilot. But it all starts with a Discovery Flight. So stop by the flight school, conveniently located at the Ocala Airport. Visit the website at ocalaaviation.com or call 861-7484. That's 861-7484. Ocala Aviation. Your adventure starts here.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
In the battle of the leafy greens, kale comes out on top. Gram for gram, kale has more vitamin C and A and K. Plus, kale has 3 times more lutein than spinach, which helps protect your retinas. 61% of human resource managers said a tattoo would seriously hurt a job applicant's chances. Do you have distilled white vinegar in your home? Doctors say this is a great natural bug bite remedy because it neutralizes the venom.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hi, I'm Russ with Climate Control Mechanical Services, and I want to invite you to tune in every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. to listen for tips and answers to the many questions you may have about your air conditioning and heating for your home or business. The Climate Control Show, every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. right here on WOCA, 1370 a.m. and 96.3 FM, The Source.
See, this is right now my favorite song that in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy this.
It's like a year old.
It is.
It's not the Lumineers, right? It's the other band.
Yeah, that's the Lumineers. That's not you. Were thinking Mumford and Sons.
No, there's like 3 bands that all have this. Hey! And they all have that same.
There's these girls from the show Nashville that covered this song.
Yeah.
They play that on the country stations, but I like that version too.
But the Lumineers do that, and I like Mumford and Sons a lot.
Uh-huh.
I just watched a concert of them on Dish Network. Had a concert of Mumford and Sons.
They're huge.
But I'm a big Fish fan, and I was.
Do you like Wilco?
I'm a big Dead fan, a Widespread Panic. So You know, I'm a jam band type of guy.
Right. I could see that.
So
it's good you know that about yourself.
Look, until I was in my 40s, I had hair down to my shoulders.
Ah.
Then I don't know why I still don't. I think I succumbed to something. I don't know.
Maybe if you can get more clear with yourself, you can determine if that's really
so
what
now,
your priority is.
Clear mind, link the heart and the
Right.
heart
So
and
we're
the mind.
talking about how to live your priorities, how to
Right.
really make your actions match what's really important to you. And so the first thing we talked about is being clear. You got to really be clear with yourself. And one of the things you can do is just to sit quietly for a few minutes every day in a chair or at a sunset or someplace inspirational, but still. And just cultivate some stillness. Just try being instead of doing. And it's very helpful to set a timer because then you're unhooked from the concept of, am I done? Am I done? Am I done? Right? The second thing is to be honest with yourself. So whatever comes up in those moments of stillness, don't judge yourself. Just be honest. And be honest about what's really important to you. If you like sitting home weaving baskets that have blueberry flowers on the side and that really is your thing, it's okay. Don't be afraid to own it and to live it and make choices that will support you making blueberry flowered baskets.
All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to play golf.
Well, let's be reasonable. I'd love to play for the Lakers, but it's just, what it would take for me to do that, the pain of being on a stretching machine,
Well,
I'm
yeah.
not sure I could tolerate that.
But I can play on the senior tour, probably.
Right. But so
No
you have
shot.
But you have to say to yourself, what am I willing to sacrifice
Right.
to have this priority? And is it a realistic priority or is it going to, cost everything I have? That was a decision that I made when I was in Los Angeles and I was pursuing an acting career, and I just decided what I'm going to have to sacrifice to do this.
It's too much.
It's more than I'm willing to give, so it's not worth it. So you really want to be honest with yourself about what your priorities are and what's really important to you. And then finally, be brave.
Have the stones to do it.
Absolutely. And even if it doesn't work out the way you thought it would, it's probably going to reveal something more deep in you that you didn't even know was important. So it's part of your journey.
See, and I did that when I got into radio 5-6 years ago. I had literally a job offer to be the general manager of a kiosk thing in a mall, Aunt Annie's Pretzels in the Gainesville Mall, and literally had the job offer of $32,000 a year plus benefits and everything. And Chris Doring called me and said, Brady and I just got a radio station. We want you to come be part of that team. Said, how much it pays? Said, it's 100% commission. And I wrestled with it, and said, you know what? I would not be happy, even though this is a done deal, $32,000 a year job. And, that wasn't bad for a single person, $32,000. I said, I would always wonder what if, because I always wanted to do radio. And so I took the lesser of the two.
Right. And you've
And I'm
kicked
much
yourself
happier for
ever
it.
since.
Much happier for it. Thanks so much, Lori. Lori Martin Gregory, Healthy Living. Coming up in the next hour, Buddy Martin joins us. Hey, LoriGregory.com if you want more information. LoriGregory.com. Buddy Martin, next hour. Ted Schott, local lawyer, going to talk about the Gaslight District downtown. Mike Bianchi, Michael W. Compton, Franz Beard, all in the Sports Hour on WOCA 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All and screw up right with them Indiana boys on an Indiana night.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
Are you
looking for a trustworthy auto care company that won't sell you something you don't need? Look no further than Affordable Auto Air and Care. Affordable Auto Air and Care has serviced Ocala for a decade and is family owned and operated. They offer quality parts at affordable prices, and they even include a 1-year or 12,000-mile warranty on their parts and labor. Their certified technicians work on any type of vehicle, even RVs. They specialize in auto AC, but they also offer oil changes, brake service, filters, tune-ups, shocks, axles, complete auto repair. Affordable Auto Air and Care is located at 1841 Northwest 4th Avenue on the corner of Old Jacksonville Road and 441. Call 352-401-0011 to book an appointment. That's 352-401-0011. Affordable Auto Air and Care. Complete auto repair. Take it from me, Tom Schmitz. I'm a customer.
If you need a sign or a banner for your yard or your business or your campaign, I'd recommend you go to Signs Unlimited at 318 South Magnolia in Ocala. Screen printing, embroidery, digital graphics. Do what I did when we needed signs for the Save the Marion Theater Group. Go see Vic Buttermore at Signs Unlimited if you want quality work with a fast turnaround from somebody who is deeply committed to his community and always ready to assist you. There's a reason Vic's slogan is, "It's our business to make your business better." Sign up for Signs Unlimited. Call 732-7341 today.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
Don't get caught without your daily source of senior deals. Pick up your copy of the Senior Voice newspaper. It's your source for schedule and events tailored to seniors, with information you need, like a list of free events in the area. We even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company to you that fits your needs, and all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about them. For more information, call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223. And pick up your copy of the Senior's Voice at most any business up and down the 200 corridor.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
You know what a photobomb is, right? It's when you take a photo of someone and someone else suddenly thrusts themselves into the photo. It's supposed to be funny and ruin the picture, but sometimes it actually makes a better photo, a better end result. Well, that's what happened to me at Kenny's Place Nursery. Well, sort of. I was looking at some flowers when these caladiums caught my eye. It was like being photobombed by a plant. Well, it worked. The caladiums from Kenny's Place Nursery now sit beautifully in my garden with my floral plants. And if the wind is blowing just right, you might find yourself taking a photo of a rose and get photobombed by one of those caladiums. Kenny's Place has caladiums in a variety of colors, and the 1 gallon size is only $3.50. Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. Kenny's Place Nursery, where the plants, the people, and the mission are all beautiful.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
And half of them tested positive for E. coli, which can cause rashes, ear infections, and other health problems. Shower after swimming, and if your baby is in the pool, change their diapers at least every hour. Women senators from both parties say it's time to do more than talk about preventing sexual assaults in the military. They're calling for tough new laws, which require a zero-tolerance policy in the armed forces. I can't hear you. I'm studying. Noise may be the key to succeeding at math, but we're not talking about cranking up the tunes. A study in the journal Current Biology finds painless sound waves applied to certain parts of the brain help people solve complex arithmetic. Do you speak Klingon? Just in time for tonight's release of the new Star Trek movie, Microsoft's Bing search engine added Klingon to its language translator. You can translate words, even entire websites, into Klingon and vice versa. This is ABC News.
Deer season's ending soon, and so are these great deals on John Deere utility tractors. Get 0% financing for 60 months and up to $1,500 off new compacted 5D, 5E open station utility tractors up to 75 horsepower. Hurry in before these incredible deals disappear. Offer ends July 31st, 2013, subject to approved credit on John Deere financial installment plan. Cash off with purchase of 2 qualifying implements. Restrictions apply. See your participating dealer for details.
Visit your local Green South Equipment location or online at greensouth.com.
Today we're asking people to name their one favorite meal for one from Stouffer's.
One favorite? Stouffer's lasagna. But how about the barbecue chicken?
Grilled white meat chicken coated with a sweet and tangy sauce with a side of cheesy potatoes topped with crisp bacon.
Yes.
So that's your one Stouffer's favorite.
Oh, but I also like Stouffer's meatloaf.
Classic meatloaf with a rich tomato glaze, smothered in a savory gravy with a tasty side of... Hey, where are you going?
You kidding? The store.
Stock up on all your favorite Stouffer's meals for one today.
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff, you know? I mean, like, if I'm paying top dollar, I want a little production value, you know? Like some editing, transition, something, some music.
Don't worry, we didn't leave you.
He's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Our bosses say we gotta stay.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei. It's time for the second hour of The Voice of Ocala. Hoo-ah!
You ever come across anything like time travel?
Come on, stick around. It's free.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win.
All right, hour two on the program called The Voice of Ocala. I'm Buddy Martin, joining you now after the first hour of Dr. Laurie and Tom. I think Laurie ought to start sending Tom a bill for therapy.
She helps me out a lot.
Yeah, Hunter, is there anything else you want to know about Tom's personal life? Because we can let you know, whatever that is. What do you want to know about?
I think we covered it all.
We covered it all. Good session, good information. She's right about the quiet time, and it is hard to find. You cannot think about nothing. That's extremely challenging. So, anyway, every Thursday, Laurie joins us at 3 o'clock on the show. I'm Buddy Martin. Our scheduled guest is scrambling. He's trying to get here, or he'll be calling in. Ted Schott. He's an attorney downtown. The reason I asked him to be on the show is there's been a lot of talk about what's happening downtown. And we've discussed this on this show, I don't want to say ad nauseum, but a lot in the last year and a half. The various projects, everything from the White Chalice Project, which is dead, which is on the east side of the square, to the Symphony Hall at Tuscaloosa. All of it. And one of the things we haven't talked much about is the potential development or the development of the north side and what they call the Gaslight District. The hope is there with the Vision 2035 plan that the city has put forward is to put a group of restaurants on the north side. Right now, there aren't many destination places there, although there's some businesses that have been there for a long time. BJ Trophies, obviously, Floyd Hirschberger has been there forever, Clark Yandel, and all. There's some businesses that do very well, but no destination places. And so they would like to create an area that would draw people to North Ocala, and, of course, nothing draws people like restaurants. And so I know that Ted was having an organizational meeting on this and had hoped to get some interest going on it, and I was anxious to find out how he did. Now, he'll either be here momentarily or he'll be calling in the show, and we'll catch up with him. Meanwhile, other news, other things. I haven't commented much on the changeover at the power plant. And since Kevin Reed was a member of our cast here for how long? 6-8 months at least, maybe longer, on Wednesday afternoons, out of respect for him, I just didn't really ask him about it publicly, and I haven't yet. And the time comes when he wants to talk about it, we'll certainly do that. I have not asked Kevin Sheely, who's in the middle of the storm, this whole thing that you saw, if you saw ocala.com or the Star banner yesterday. A lot of people wondering what exactly transpired that Kevin Reed, who by all accounts at least appeared to be doing a really great job at the power plant. And this is not my words. These are words of the people who commented on the article in the newspaper. And then one day, all of a sudden, abruptly, he either A, quit, B, resigned, C, got fired. Something happened. And people are kind of startled by it. The county commissioners seem to be saying, well, we're not really sure. We thought this thing was going along well. The city council, Matt Brower, the city manager, I mean, they just don't seem to know. When you ask them, they say, I have no idea what happened. So whatever it was between the two Kevins and then their bosses, or of course Kevin Shealy was Kevin Reed's boss, ostensibly. So here's what I'm thinking happened. This is how I explained it as best I can. Kevin Shealy, who's been on this program, came into the city as a new CEO of the partnership, the Economic Development Chamber Partnership, and began to examine his resources and realized the power plant kind of fell under his domain and began working with Kevin Reed, who actually answered to Kevin Shealy at that point in time. You with me so far? Everybody with me so far? You got that
yes.
so far? Yeah. All right, so at some point, the resources, whatever they were or were going to be, appeared to be getting co-opted, if that's the right word, by the partnership, and there was a plan underway to have a so-called landlord-type person at the power plant to run this place. Now, I've heard two stories about what else. I've heard people say we were going to go ahead and promote Kevin to this other job, which is basically in charge of retention of business in the community, and we're going to find somebody else to run the power plant, or there was not going to be anybody else to take Kevin's place. I don't know the truth on that. So in this moment of these negotiations, something broke down, and there was I guess they called it a power struggle about this thing, and for whatever reason, Kevin Reed was out. Now, this is a little bit disconcerting because we put a lot of eggs in that basket because the power plant was supposed to be something that really had us abuzz. We all agreed as, hey, exciting stuff happening over there. I think they had 70 people. I don't know the real resources. Maybe, this is the numbers I heard, but they had businesses and they had, people working there. They had seminars. They had these Shark Tank type things they used to have. And it sounded like, would you guys all agree, it sounded like stuff was going on. Does that sound like that to you?
That was the indication we had.
Absolutely.
So, consequently, all of a sudden, this happens, and we all scratch our heads and say, what happened? What went wrong? So reading the paper, talking to a few sources I've had, and I've got a little bit of information, none of which I can verify except to say a source has said that people are disturbed. At one point, the county was quite concerned to a point of saying, what are we putting our money into here? And now the city's saying, what are we putting? And then nobody seems to know what happened. Now, in all fairness to Kevin Shealy, he just got in town. So I've got to give him an opportunity to explain that. And I also say that on his side, if I'm the new head coach of the UCF Knights or the Florida Gators or whoever, I'm going to get my guys in there. If I come in there and there's a coordinator I don't particularly think it fits my style, I'm going to either move him to another position or I'm going to get rid of him and get somebody else. Now, I don't know, but supposedly, and what Kevin Reed was said on this show, he really liked what was happening at the power plant. He embraced it. He said, really great stuff happening there. That's what he said on this show. So at some point in time, apparently that either changed or was reassessed, and now it's just kind of a big mess. So I think the people of Marion County and Ocala are owed an explanation. I would like for the principals to come on this show and explain what their position is, because we've been a big advocate of the power plant, but we feel like now we're kind of like in the dark on this. So that's my position on it. That's where I'm coming from.
I don't know enough about it I'm gonna have to defer to you. You are in touch with people who are in the know, and so I think there's more that's going to come out about this as the days pass by. And like you said, Kevin Shealy's new on the job, so you got to give him a chance to get his feet on the ground and give him a chance to tell us what's going on, if he in fact does tell us what's going on.
Our job is to ask the questions. We don't usually have the answers. Sometimes, but we have to ask, like we ask the question every day for a long time, almost every day, why do they need that many gallons
of water
out of Dina Springs?
Just like we ask every day why that fence company that we no longer refer to put up insulting words on the sign.
As our job is not to fix it or even to necessarily be able to explain it. Our job is to ask the questions. So my question is, what happened at the power plant? Who's going to step up and explain it? Who is going to be the person who says, let me give you the version that you need to know about here? And these microphones are open to anybody who wants to come, including Doug Cohn, the county commission, and the city, Matt Brower. I mean, I don't think they know either. I think they're scratching their heads saying, well, what happened? We had a pretty good unit here. All of a sudden it's gone. And then, of course, Kevin Reed, when he's ready to talk, I welcome him to come back and discuss that here. So I just want to put that out there because I think we're owed an explanation. Not us at the station, but people on this radio station, as I got to, are owed an explanation. So I hope we'll be able to do that. So, all right, Ted Schott will be here shortly. He's going to tell us about his project in downtown Ocala. By the way, we have one particular friend of ours who shall go nameless. It seems like every time I bring up a downtown plan, he says the same thing. And he knows who he is because he's listening right now. And it doesn't seem like anything we say it has any validity or plans. And it always goes back to, well, you don't have a parking garage. You know, that's not how I see it. So just in case
plenty of parking downtown within a 2 or 3 block walk.
I mean, look,
just stop being lazy and walk.
I know there's been some a lot of big dreams that have gone up in smoke. Now, the White Chalice thing didn't work out. I still believe downtown Ocala is a viable entity. I think good things are going to happen. Maybe not in my lifetime, but in Hunter's lifetime and JJ's and whatever. And
what about my lifetime? I'm still a spring chicken.
Yeah, you'll be gone too by the time.
Probably.
So, anyway, so don't feel bad. By the way, I feel very young today. You know why? I found something a lot older than me. Water. They found water 1.5 billion years old.
I don't want to drink that water.
That's some old water right there, man. How about a scotch and water with that water, huh? All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll be talking to Ted Schott. We'll catch up more on the news. I want to tell you about I've got 3 things that give me heartburn today. I'm going to let you know what they are. It's time for me to gripe a little bit and grouse. I'll give you those this hour as well. And coming up in sports, as Tom said earlier, we're going to have a packed hour. Hunter Thompson Turner's in the house. It's always when he's in town, when he's on the show, you know it's going to be a big show. It's always going to be a big show.
Big show today.
I think he probably may have Joakim Noah as a guest. Is that right, Hunter?
He's still having a rough go of it.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah,
and in the sports hour, we will be talking to our friends about a variety of topics. So we got, of course, Fran's Beard as usual. It's time. Hey, it's Preakness week, guys. Preakness week. Got a horse? Anybody got a horse? Can I get a horse? And our friend Mike Bianchi is it the team or the game, guys? Help me out here. I never can remember.
Game.
You sure it's a game?
The game.
I think it's a team.
It's the game.
I think it's the game. We'll find out. It always makes Bianchi mad when I get it wrong, so we'll brush that up. All right, we'll take a break, come back. We'll be hooking up with Ted Schott, local attorney, after this time out on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase process fixed rate allowance.
Mayday! Mayday! Our buyer blew it. He ordered 38 cars instead of 8. And now we have got way too much inventory.
Hey, this is Chris Spears from Prestige Auto Sales. I've got to sell these 30 cars extra fast. I'm going spastic, so I've got to do something drastic.
Qualified buyers with $5 down can drive a nicer, newer car today. Who knew $5 could get you a nicer, newer car?
Well, it can, because I'm in a jam.
Is bad credit causing you distress? My For the People credit approval process just may save the day. Get approved for a nicer, newer car you'll love. Mayday! Mayday! Get down to Prestige Auto Sales right away. The Mayday Madness ends after we've cleared 37 cars.
My name is Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit Prestige Auto Sales or call 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Hi, this is Lisa Midget, owner of Kinetic Motion Fitness here in Ocala, Florida. A lot of you have experienced our great classes in personal small group training. But did you know we now offer dynamic workouts on DVD? These high-quality, locally produced, effective DVD workouts can go where you go. Going on vacation? No problem. We can go with you. Friends and relatives out of town who are jealous that you get to come to KMF? No problem. We ship anywhere in the United States for free. Our great lineup of 4 DVDs includes Kinetic Achieve, Kinetic Couples, Seminole, Kinetic Core, and Kinetic Campus. 4 great workouts for the entire family on DVD. Sound interesting? Check them out on our website at kmfocala.com. While you're there, check out our class schedule and come see us. We're only 5 minutes from downtown across from the Skylark Plaza. Visit kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. KMF will get you results at our studio or at home with one of our DVDs. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are. Visit kmfocala.com for more information.
Hello, Seminole fans. Gary Thurston here for the Seminole Boosters. Don't forget about the 2013 Spring Tour coming to the Country Club of Ocala, May 22nd, Wednesday afternoon. Jimbo Fisher will be here for dinner. Come meet some old Seminole greats. Have a great time. That's May 22nd, Wednesday. If you need more information, go to MarionSeminoles.org or MarionSeminoleClub@gmail.com.
You know what a photobomb is, right? It's when you take a photo of someone and someone else suddenly thrusts themselves into the photo. It's supposed to be funny and ruin the picture, but sometimes it actually makes a better photo, a better end result. Well, that's what happened to me at Kenny's Place Nursery. Well, sort of. I was looking at some flowers when these caladiums caught my eye. It was like being photobombed by a plant. Well, it worked. The caladiums from Kenny's Place Nursery now sit beautifully in my garden with my floral plants. And if the wind is blowing just right, you might find yourself taking a photo of a rose and get photobombed by one of those caladiums. Kenny's Place has caladiums in a variety of colors, and the 1 gallon size is only $3.50. Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. Kenny's Place Nursery, where the plants, the people, and the mission are all beautiful.
Do you wonder why you continue to experience pain? Is your daily routine affected by your body telling you that it hurts? Let us explain why this may be happening to you every Wednesday at 11 a.m. on the Head to Toe Care Show. This is Dr. Riyad Fakuri, board-certified chiropractic orthopedist at the Fakuri Medical and Chiropractic Center, available to serve you and answer any questions that you may have. Again, that's on the Head to Toe Care Show every Wednesday at 11 a.m. right here on WOCA, The Source.
Got a garden, and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
WOCA.
I just want to say that I am feeling young when I see this story about water found on Earth, 1.5 billion years old. It's the oldest water ever to be discovered in this quantity. It's up around Toronto, and apparently gold miners up in Timmins, Ontario, were tinkering around there, uncovered the water by drilling into a bedrock. NPR reports the team behind the discovery had been requesting samples from a number of mines, and they found this particular water to be remarkably between 1.5 billion and 2.6 billion years old. How could anything be that old? Amazing. With that, a young man himself. I once called him young. He said, "Are you kidding me? I'm not young. Look at these guys around me." But he is. In my eye, he is, and that would be Ted Schott, local attorney. Ted, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How about you?
I should say downtown advocate, and particularly north side. That'd be more appropriate.
Husband, son, father.
Yeah,
a whole lot of hats
local
in there.
Guy.
That's right.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Forest.
Okay, you're a Forest Wildcat. And where'd you get your law degree from?
University of Florida.
A Gator through and through. I should have known that.
Double Gator. 8 wonderful football seasons.
Are you all right? Are you all right with all the Gators now? Are you good with everything? Because some people are kind of grousing about it up there. Are you one of those that are happy, content?
I am accused by my friends of having pretty big orange and blue glasses.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot they do that upsets me.
Well, that's good. You get to enjoy it then.
I went through the Zook years.
Yeah. And Ron's here, by the way. He's a friend of ours, and he's been on the show a number of times. And if you look at his numbers, in comparison to the real bad days at Florida, which I did go through. I won't even count Charlie Pell's year where they, didn't win anything. But, I mean, back in the day, I really go back to the day, and we won't spend too much time on this, when 6 wins on a 10-game schedule and a bowl game was a good year.
Well,
it was a good year.
And I started with Spurrier.
There you go. So you're one of those.
Ended with Spurrier. And so, when I look back at the Zook years, I don't think so much about the wins and the losses. I think about the kegs being thrown at fraternity parties and those types of things. And that's what I don't want to get back into.
Well, there you go. That's I will say this. You're one of those millennial-type guys, Spurrier Gators. I'm a wait till next year Gator that started back in Ray Gray's era, so that's a difference. So that's the days of sitting in the rain and getting beat 52-0 by Georgia. A lot of things look good, after that. So, but good to have you here today and ask you to come in and kind of talk. We heard a lot about the North Side and some of the great things that Floyd Hirschberger and Clark Yandel and you have all been doing. I attended one DBA meeting, and your office is down there. Nice office, by the way.
Thank you.
Pretty brand new, isn't it?
It is. We redid the old Cavaness Buick for your generation and the Manning Millwork and Door building for my generation. Yeah. Built it into offices, and actually Pace Center for Girls is moving down there, and they'll be in 1st of June.
So there is something going on the north side. That's good to know. And we talked about, a little before you got here, I know that everybody wants to have something to get people to come across the boulevard, right?
That's right.
And so there's this imaginary barrier on 40 that goes down in the middle of Ocala, and people don't seem to want to go when they're going back west. Don't want to seem to turn right and go north, do they?
Well, if you're going east, you can't turn north, and that's one of the things we're going to work on.
I know.
And if you are heading west, we do get quite a bit of traffic. One of the things that I love to tell people is, other than 40, 27, 200, and I-75, as far as designation of amount of trips on a road, there isn't a road that's graded higher than Magnolia and First, which runs right through north downtown. So we get traffic through there. The issue is what's there to get people to stop for.
Yeah,
and that's what we're trying to deal with.
Yeah, and by the way, I guess the 2 Magnolias converged here by the railroad tracks. And for years, I went down that road every day, every morning at 6 a.m. when I did a radio show at the old WMOP,
right across
which
the
is across
from
from you, where the old Manning, back then it was Manning Millworks. And so I've traveled that road a good number of times. But it's good to see that, there's stuff going on, and for your generation. And why don't you just kind of tell us where you are, where we are with North Ocala, and what you're trying to do there.
Okay. The city has been very helpful in trying to come up with a way in which downtown can be reintegrated, for lack of a better term. Instead of being the north downtown and the south downtown, we're one downtown. And from a interest standpoint, those of us that are in downtown, we're starting to think of it as one downtown. And what can we do to help south, and what can south do to help the north? What we have come up with is the linear park that most people know about, Osceola Avenue, where the railroad tracks run right down the middle of the road. That is eventually all going to be a walkable park that will take you from Citizen Circle up to the train station and Tuscaloosa Park. The other thing that we're getting ready to do is, and we had a meeting on it Wednesday night, and then we talked about it again at the board meeting, Downtown Business Alliance, this morning. How do we deal with the Gaslight District? And
now, to explain the Gaslight District.
I'm happy to. The Gaslight District started as a concept about 1.5 years ago, and at that time the city was trying to figure out where to place the garage. You may remember that. There were 5 lots that were being talked about, and it had been whittled down to 2, and it came out in the paper that the Murphy lot, which is right next to Concord Building that fronts State Road 40 right before you get to Wachovia Bank, the city was considering swapping its lot 1 block north of the downtown square for the Murphy lot.
Almost like a map and a visual to see this.
You really do.
I know what you're talking about, but people say, what?
And if you're familiar at all with downtown, if you go 1 block to the north of the downtown square, you're across State Road 40, you're looking at high-rise buildings. The block right behind that, from the downtown square is a city-owned parking lot. And the idea was to swap parking lot for parking lot plus cash so that they could get the location that they thought would work for a parking garage. And the DBA took the position that the property that was already owned by the city was more valuable to the redevelopment of that midtown area than a parking garage would be on State Road 40. And we encouraged the city not to swap lot for lot, but to instead consider doing some type of a public use of that would assist in the redevelopment of that area. And City Council was responsive to that, and so then we took a step forward and said to city staff, what we would like to see there is some type of version of the downtown square. No matter how bad it's gotten in downtown or how good it's gotten, the activity has always been around the downtown square for as long as it's been there. And if we could see if we can recreate that dynamic on the north side, that would be a good thing. The city looked at it, and over the time they ended up having some additional obligations with Ansophone moving in where they needed additional parking, and they came up with what was a combination of additional parking on that site with some park-like features that they called the Gaslight District. And when we looked at it as the DBA, we kind of liked it. We kind of thought it was a lot of parking spaces, a lot more parking spaces than was there now. And Wednesday night's meeting was trying to figure out what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it, so that when they start going into engineering on it, they've got an idea of what people around that square are interested in. And that's one of the things that I did, is tried to walk around the square and get the businesses that are located around the square to be aware that we were going to be talking about it. We posted it on the DBA website. We had a room that could seat up to, I think, about 50 people, and we had significantly less than that, but the discussion that we had was a good one. And what we came to is we'd like to see First and Magnolia go to two-way traffic instead of the one-way traffic that they currently have. That would aid in potentially getting that left-hand turn lane as you head east on 40 that we're desperately in need of. And it would also allow for the 4 lanes that are currently on First and Magnolia, which both sides now have parallel parking, to instead go to the diagonal parking and see if we could pick up some parking on the street and have more of a park-like feature there than a lot of parking spaces and a little park-like structure. So we're still excited about that. The other thing that we did when you talked about trying to cross 40, 40 is a perception problem that you can't cross it safely. The other problem we have is, why would I cross 40? There's not much to do on the other side. And that's generally true except for AJ's right now. And if you're down there for lunch, Brick City Cafe is always good. But what we're trying to do is come up with concepts that integrate the whole downtown. And we've come up with one. I shouldn't say we. I should give credit where it's due. Augie Griner has come up with one, buddy, that I think you're going to love. You'll remember a ways back we talked about a thoroughbred museum downtown.
Right.
Something to do downtown when you need to kill time. Augie had a great idea, and that is, look, we've had 42 national champions in horse racing in the history of Marion County. And why don't we do some type of a walk of fame around downtown? And we talked about that at the DBA this morning. It got a little bit of support. We're going to be investigating it. If there's anybody who's listening who has interest in it, they can contact you. They can contact the DBA and let me know.
Yeah.
I'd love to get more participation in it.
Yeah, interesting. I know you've talked about that in the past. Now, just a couple of quick questions. Number one, I don't know where the Gaslight District came from. Isn't that what San Diego has? Something like that? I'm not sure.
You know, I don't know which town it's from. That was actually city staff that came up with the idea.
I think it might be San Diego. But then the idea was, I thought, to ultimately get a group of restaurants down there.
Yep. That's the
still
goal.
the thinking? Okay.
That's the goal. The backside of Concord Square has a lot of...
The old post office, actually.
The old post office site is where we're looking. The backside of Concord Square has some really pretty buildings that are underutilized from a rental standpoint. Yep. And the idea is to try and reinvigorate that area, reinvigorate the downstairs of the old Ocala National Bank building, the old hotel building that's there. and it'll work its way around.
Do you think there will be an aggressive campaign on the part of the city and whoever else that's part of the CEP, the partnership with the chamber, to go out and actively recruit restaurants and people who want to, hopefully it won't be all chains, and incentives? Would that be incentivized, and what would jumpstart that?
We have already started with a program, the city and the DBA, and I'm not sure whether the CEP is involved in it or not, but we're getting, and trust me, being a resident of Ocala, I love it when people say, oh, we're getting a study. We study everything to death. What we're actually doing is compiling the research on demographics downtown, car traffic downtown, pedestrian traffic downtown, so that when some of these restaurants that have requirements for what they require in those areas before they'll consider a location, that information is already ready for the landlord to say, no, I've got it, here it is. The other thing that we're doing is we're compiling a one-stop site for anybody who wants to be downtown, where they can go and they can see what the listing of available property is for both sale and lease, square footage, rates, compare apples to apples, and try and determine what's the best site for what they want to do. Incentive packages and those types of things we've looked at and we'll continue to look at them. Right now we have, I think the city has closed it, but we are currently operating through the city a grant program for not only facade grants to make downtown look a little prettier, but also some interior assistance to make the vacant units more rentable. If you've got a problem with handicapped bathrooms and you want to get those fixed, we'll give you a little bit of assistance in making sure that that can happen.
Ted Schott is our guest. He's a local attorney. Aren't you the vice president of the DBA? Or
I am. I am vice president of the DBA this
business
year. I have, for a long time, been called the president of the DBA, and I have never had that title. I am a backbencher through and through, but they convinced me to be vice president.
Well, good, because it takes a lot of good people to run that DBA and keep things, keep the flames going down there. There are a lot of good things, a lot of good ideas, a lot of good energy. We've had a little success here and there from time to time with the Marion Theater things and things of that nature. But we yet to get that one cohesive effort from everybody. We can all get on the same page. I mean, Sandy McBride's trying to build a hotel on the east side. You know, that's still viable. I talked to Sandy a couple of weeks ago for us. I know it's still a go if we can get the city to do some things. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of thoughts. As things begin to bubble up a little bit, and I heard it from a friend of me tell me today, an architect, his brother's an architect in South Florida, who lives here but has businesses, that all of a sudden he can't get building permits in South Florida. Things are happening, starting to bubble up down there with the building programs. If in fact we're beginning to have a little bit of a renaissance here and people are starting to spend money and build things, this is a very good time to get some bricks and mortar, get going. I think what we need now is some kind of, we got the vision, we had a lot of discussion, now it's time to think, do we need that Gaslight District? Do we need to get that hotel done? Do we need a parking range? What is it? And I give Matt Brower a lot of credit. He's worked hard. It's been his vision. Before that, Ricky Horst. But right now, it's time to put some action, to put some action to the words. Don't you think?
I couldn't agree with you more. And actually, had a conversation with City Councilman. That was probably Wednesday too, and his comment was, "I love all the irons in the fire. I want to make sure that we have enough money to cover all the fires." And we're aware of that. The DBA, when we talk about improvements downtown, we're trying to cover that with CRA funds, which is the special taxing district. The money comes from the increase in property taxes within that downtown area. So we're not talking about city funds all the way around. And
it's money from the hood.
Exactly. You mentioned the hotel. To the extent that there may, if a hotel comes in, be the need for assistance in parking in that area. We know that some funds may need to go to that. We're trying to make sure that we have enough to spread around to the projects that need to be done. And one of the things that we have asked city staff to take a look at is with the CRA funds, not with the general funds from the city, but with CRA funds, is there an ability to issue bonds on those CRA funds so that we can tackle a couple projects at once without having to worry about decimating the principal that's in those CRA funds.
Right, and there's a little money in there.
There is, last count I heard, about $4 million that was sitting in that account.
Not chump change.
And we bring in about between $400,000 and $600,000 a year in additional tax money that's coming in and interest on the amount that's sitting in the CRA funds.
That's a lot of money.
It is. There are a lot of projects that can get done. The problem is when you start the city's plans for Gaslight, for instance, when they came back and they looked at, okay, we want to bury the underground utilities, we want to put 187 spots on a new parking lot on that location, we want to have the park-like setting, we want to redirect traffic, we need to have our contingencies in the contracts and all these other things. The price skyrocketed, and when we got that,
it's going to go up higher, though. It's going to get higher. I mean, the construction is still pretty low right now, as you know.
Right.
And it's going to get higher. So, Ted Schott, always a pleasure to see you, Ted. The final question: what does your gut tell you about what's going to happen downtown?
I am very excited about what's going to happen downtown, and I think 5 years from now we won't believe the improvements that we've seen, much like 10 years ago when you looked at downtown. It was nowhere near what it is today.
Appreciate your time. Good luck on the projects. I like the Thoroughbred Walk of Fame, and let's catch up again soon.
Absolutely, anytime.
Ted Schott. We'll take a break, come back. I'll give you 3 things that give me heartburn right here on the Voice of Ocala. Buddy Martin, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, WOCA, The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless the recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin for WinStar Medical Research. Every day we hear another story about innovation or about the cutting edge of technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. But did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that will impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name WinStar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize WinStar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at WinStar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people are right now. WinStar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend an opportunity to you to be a part of these. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. WinStar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. WinStar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Visit the WOCA website at www.woca.com. In Clark, we trust.
Hi, this is Clark Howard. Join me every weeknight at 6 right here on WOCA 1370, The Source.
Ooh, it's cold in here. Ooh, it's hot in here.
It's just right in this house.
Looks like 1 out of 3 know about climate control mechanical services in Ocala. The first didn't call 291-0185. The second didn't know to call 291-0185. The third called 291-0185. So the moral of the story? To know is one thing, but to know and take action is another. Climate control mechanical services. Just right.
You know what a photobomb is, right? It's when you take a photo of someone and someone else suddenly thrusts themselves into the photo. It's supposed to be funny and ruin the picture, but sometimes it actually makes a better photo, a better end result. Well, that's what happened to me at Kenny's Place Nursery. Well, sort of. I was looking at some flowers when these caladiums caught my eye. It was like being photobombed by a plant. Well, it worked. The caladiums from Kenny's Place Nursery now sit beautifully in my garden with my floral plants. And if the wind is blowing just right, you might find yourself taking a photo of a rose and get photobombed by one of those caladiums. Kenny's Place has caladiums in a variety of colors, and the 1 gallon size is only $3.50. Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. Kenny's Place Nursery, where the plants, the people, and the mission are all beautiful.
Howdy, folks. RL here to invite you to Dairy Queen for a great new meal. Dairy Queen's now serving 3 different $5 meals. Hot dogs with chili, cheese, slaw, whatever. Quarter pound with cheese, loaded up any way you like it. Solid filet chicken tenders. And each meal comes with fries, a drink, and a sundae for only $5. You got that right. Nobody beats that deal. A great value and a great meal. So come on down to Dairy Queen at Silver Springs, where they always treat you like kings and queens.
WWWOCA,
If it happens in Ocala, you'll hear it first on WOCA News Talk 1370.
That is why all the girls in the town follow you all around. Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Karen Carpenter's voice is just about as sweet as it gets. She is one of the truly gifted singers, and of course, died way too young.
She was gifted at everything except eating.
Yeah, unfortunately, she had that. Her brother and her were great. They were awesome. Back in the day, in my time. So let me get to this right now. There are certain things that just ring my chimes, okay? That get me kind of ticked off.
Uh-oh.
And you've heard me talk about them on the show a number of times.
Yeah, their names are Tom and Schmitz.
So that too. Hunter's the only guy that doesn't do that. But the deal is this. You guys know how I feel about spam telephone calls.
Yes.
We've gone through all this thing about do not call this. We talked about it. We've done it right. Call our phones on there, whatever. And lately, every day when I'm preparing this show about 11:15, 11:30 in the morning, the house phone rings. Now, I don't usually answer the house phone because that's where Joni gets her calls or when she's not getting anywhere to sell. But I thought, well, I'll help out. So the last 2 days I've answered the calls, okay? And these are surreptitious people who are trying to present something as if it is really pertinent to you when it's not. Like, this is your final notice on the credit card. Exactly. Now, what does that normally mean to you? Huh?
They're coming.
That's right.
Yeah. I was like, what credit card? I'm not behind any payments on a credit card. You know, I'm thinking, final notice? What is that all about? You know, is it
till tomorrow?
Your chance to lower your interest rates. Okay? Well, what are you calling me on my phone to tell me something like that? Where did you get my number from? Of course, when you answer it, there is no person on there. It's a computer. All right? Yet, that's supposed to be against the law, but they still get through. And then I get another one on Discover card, call it. And I said to Joni, what's the Discover card? She said, I paid them off for months ago. I don't even owe any money there. Then I find out they're basically trying to get us to borrow more money, whatever. Yeah. So why is it these people are able to get through this drag debt and get to my telephone number? And what can I do about it? I'm really at the point where I'm getting so aggravated, I'm ready to call the White House. Oh, no, wait a minute, that won't work.
No, they may have your line tapped. You're a journalist.
Could be.
You don't know.
Yeah. So that's bothered me. I got to work on that. Hunter, I expect you to help me with that, all right?
I will, buddy. They're calling me, too.
What you got, JJ? You got some news?
No, he says we got a minute.
I thought you said he had an idea how to fix it. All right, we'll go over a minute here anyway, because I got a couple of other rants.
This heartburn thing's what I'm waiting on.
Me too.
Well, this is heartburn. All three.
I've got heartburn
all
right
three.
now.
Oh, there's the three things that give me heartburn. That's one. Secondly, you know how I feel about trees, all right? I like trees. I think Ocala's a beautiful city, and it has wonderful trees in it, right? And I think there are times when you have to take one down, when obviously for obvious reasons. You know where Churchill Square is?
Yes.
Okay? You know what's over there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody went in there and took down all those oaks. Chopped them all down.
And dug the roots out.
And, well, not in the case of one, in the parking lot there, right there, Longhorn behind. The stumps are still there. And they took them all out, the whole parking lot.
Yep.
There's no shade there, right? And they planted palm trees.
Yes.
Okay, like palm trees are growing in the middle of Ocala. So they got all these palm trees out, which are turning brown. They must have taken 20 beautiful trees completely down. Who in the world did that and why?
You know, I was in there last Wednesday, and I saw them doing this, and I said, wonder how long it'll take before Buddy gets mad about this. I was literally thinking that driving through the parking lot.
Every time I get in there, I went in today, have lunch at Longhorn, I got mad again. Every single time. How can they do this? How come we can't stop these people from desecrating? Now, look, if you're going to go into a piece of property, you're building a big, tall building, and whatever, I can understand that. But just to take them down for no reason? What is that all about?
According to Jimmy Gooding, you have to have a permit to do that, so I assume they
Do me
have
a favor.
permit.
During the break, call Jimmy Gooding and find out.
I will.
I want to know
I'll
if they
buddy.
did that, because I'm
Absolutely.
really ticked off about that.
Absolutely. We'll get on it.
Beautiful trees, gone, dead, finished. And finally, you heard me talking yesterday about being ticked off about the Washington, the White House, whatever. Bad enough the stuff that's happening up there right now with the IRS and all that crap that's going on. Now, and there's been no explanations. I know the president has fired the interim head of the IRS and named somebody else and so on and so forth. And it's damage control. That's bad enough. Now I hear today that we have a witness protection program, that's the wrong word, for terrorists, okay? We get terrorists, as I understand this, who turn, and we protect them. There's only one problem. We've lost some of them. We don't know where they are.
Oh, dear goodness.
Where are we have these terrorists, and they
could be out there planning terror plots.
No, not just that. They've been flying all over the country in airplanes, for crying out loud.
Oh, no.
What in the world is going on in Washington? No wonder. I need it, Tom. Let's take a break.
Okay.
Right here on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. Hey, and if you know where any of those terrorists are, call Crime Stoppers.
Exactly.
Right here on The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's national magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day. Whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands, at Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Ron Felber. He's a retired deputy sheriff, transported federal criminals, fought Golden Gloves, and holds a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. He's coming out to speak about his book, A Man of Indeterminate Value.
Open for debate, where you get to choose the topic.
And then Brad Boersma and Josh Verdunk will be on the air with their show, Winging It, from Ocala Aviation Flight School.
Marjorie Hines is a civil liberties lawyer. She's written a book called Priests of Our Democracy, the Supreme Court, Academic Freedom, and the Anti-Communist Purge.
And then it's Ocala Magazine Radio with your host, John Sotomayor, the executive editor of Ocala Magazine.
Don Snyder is a New York Times best-selling author. He's written a new book called Walking with Jack, a father's journey to become his son's caddy.
And they will tell you some of the things that you can do this weekend and in the upcoming weeks with the Viva Florida 500 set of events. All of that plus Fun with Joe right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
This is Don with ABC Frederick's Appliance. Here's my daughter, Lena.
And hey everybody, it's Lena. You need to come down to ABC Frederick's Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue, where you are treated right with the right products like Whirlpool, Maytag, Crosley, and Speed Queen. These are the new ones. Don't forget, we also carry used appliances that we warranty. ABC Frederick's Appliance does repairs too. Call us at 629-5181. ABC Frederick's Appliance on County Road 25, just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue. It's at 629-5181.
Call me crazy. Some people say insanity is doing the same thing over and over expecting a different result. I think insanity is 1,000 single-sided full-color business cards for $15 or packing service for 50% off. Call me crazy. Green Sheet Printing on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street. 789-6683. That's 789-6683. Look for the yellow signs.
CJ going all 70s today, man. How about that?
All love music today.
Oh, good stuff.
He played a little Frank Sinatra earlier.
Yeah, I saw that. All right, you guys know about music. Okay, here's something for you. What's frisson? F-R-I-S-S-O-N.
I have no idea.
It comes from the website Oddest Facts. Frisson. It's the chills you get when you listen to music. Frisson.
Is that a real word?
It's a real word.
Slang.
It's a real word.
Wow.
So when you say when you're out with your date and you turn the radio's on, you say, "Oh, baby, this gives me frisson." Right?
She'd be like, "Let's not go this fast."
How'd you like to have a president, by the way?
We have one.
Yeah.
He's in trouble, right?
Who has run on a, let's say, some people would say it's not moderate, but let's say centrist position as a Democrat, who decided all of a sudden he was going to be brutally honest about everything and tell the truth about everything. Would you like that?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, there was one on the movie. It was called Bulworth.
Yeah, I remember the movie.
Yeah, Warren Beatty, 1998, where he went all when the guy went. So Obama now, they say, is threatening to go Bulworth. That's what they say. This comes from they're talking about it now, saying, and David Axelrod said every president from time to time says that. It's probably cathartic to say. The reality is, while you want to be truthful, you want to be straightforward, you also want to be practical about what you're saying. In other words, he has to lie a little bit, right? So I'd like to see him go Bulworth.
Did you see the movie Bulworth?
I did not.
It was a very good movie.
Let's crank out tweets and quotes and get out of here, all right? Here we go. A little tweets and quotes today on a Thursday afternoon. Don't forget, coming up, Sports Hour, Mike Bianchi. Number one, preach the gospel at all times. And when necessary, use words. St. Francis of Assisi said that, believe it or not. Here's one from a guy I had a great deal of respect for, Norman Vincent Peale. Good advice. Don't take tomorrow to bed with you. What do you think it means?
Don't think too much about the future.
Don't want to go to bed worrying about tomorrow, right? And finally, it's from Wendell Phillips. What is defeat? Nothing but education. Nothing but the first step to something better. All right, coming up in the Sports Hour, I'm going to talk about a team that has gone almost completely under the radar that we have already talked about on this program. And, you know, we got enamored of a few stars and a few games, and we kind of lost track of a team that really deserves more than we're giving them. We'll talk about that. We'll ask Bianchi what his take is on the NBA at this point in time and what's the future of the Magic, and also talk about this calling Nick Saban Satan everybody's doing lately. What's that all about?
It's a new cool thing, I guess.
I guess they're doing it. It's the popular thing to do. That plus a lot more, so be sure and stay tuned. Coming up next, Buddy Sports Page right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make
Recently, I had a great conversation with General Manager Pat Murray on the special events at Country Club of Ocala.
We have a lot of special events here that are geared towards the family. Easter comes to mind. We have an Easter bunny who hops around on the driving range. We usually hide somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 eggs and turn them loose and let them go harvest the eggs. We have a great family celebration here on the 4th of July where it's a traditional cookout, if you will. And as the sun goes down, the driving range becomes alive with probably one of the better fireworks displays in the area. Breakfast with Santa is a big deal.
Country Club of Ocala, where the Easter Bunny, Santa, and all the children, large and small, are a big deal on every special occasion. For more information, call 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of the Monday Gator Report right here on The Source. Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, she shopped first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram, CEO of Gateway Bank, inviting you to drop by our main office on Silver Springs Boulevard every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. for the Community Gazette, a 3-hour show focusing on our favorite community to live and work, Ocala, Marion County. Come join us with the voice of Ocala, Buddy Martin, in the new old-fashioned bank radio studio as we discuss a variety of interesting topics on the Community Gazette on WOCA, The Source.
WOCA, Ocala.
This is James Snyder inviting you to join me each Sunday morning at 9:30 for Sunday Joy, right here on WOCA 1370.
This is a public notice. Local residents can now save thousands of dollars on their next car, truck, or SUV. It's not a tent sale, because no tent is big enough to hold this many cars. It's ocalaforsale.com. Say goodbye to sticker shock. Ocalaforsale.com has thousands of vehicles with no stickers at all. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to ocalaforsale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, less proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
You know what a photobomb is, right? It's when you take a photo of someone and someone else suddenly thrusts themselves into the photo. It's supposed to be funny and ruin the picture, but sometimes it actually makes a better photo, a better end result. Well, that's what happened to me at Kenny's Place Nursery. Well, sort of. I was looking at some flowers when these caladiums caught my eye. It was like being photobombed by a plant. Well, it worked. The caladiums from Kenny's Place Nursery now sit beautifully in my garden with my floral plants. And if the wind is blowing just right, you might find yourself taking a photo of a rose and get photobombed by one of those caladiums. Kenny's Place has caladiums in a variety of colors, and the 1-gallon size is only $3.50. Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. Kenny's Place Nursery, where the plants, the people, and the mission are all beautiful.
This is Don with ABC Frederick's Appliance. Here's my daughter, Lena.
And hey everybody, it's Lena. You need to come down to ABC Frederick's Appliance on County Road 25 just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue, where you are treated right with the right products like Whirlpool, Maytag, Crosley, and Speed Queen. These are the new ones. Don't forget, we also carry used appliances that we warranty. ABC Frederick's Appliance does repairs too. Call us at 629-5181. ABC Frederick's Appliance on County Road 25 just over the railroad tracks in Bellevue. It's at 629-5181.
Hello? Can you hear me? Because if you can, then so can your customers. Radio works. Call today to advertise your business right here on WOCA 1370, The Source.
WOCA, keeping you in touch with Ocala.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370, Ocala's source for what's happening in today's hottest, up-to-date news and topics.
Credit cards, and other places where they owe money. The surviving Boston Marathon bombing suspect left a message on the inside of the boat where he was captured. Police say Jahar Sarnaev scrawled a profane reference to the U.S. He also wrote "Praise Allah" and said that his brother Tamerlan was lucky to be with him first. Depression is a well-recognized complication of stroke. It's also a potential risk factor for it, especially in middle-aged women. An Australian study just released found it was the case regardless of socioeconomic status and other stroke risk factors. So what would you do with a couple of dollars and a dream? Well, you have a few days to figure it out until the next multi-state lottery drawing. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot up to nearly $200 million, and Saturday's Powerball will be at least $550 million. This is ABC News.
Never bet on a horse named Tripod. Never go cliff diving with a guy named Cliff. It's just too many cliffs. Never tell a zombie he looks like death warmed over. And never trust a car that hasn't been trusted to Midas. Save on brakes, tires, maintenance, and total car care. For a car you can depend on long after the warranty expires. You deserve the Midas touch. Get a comprehensive oil change, tire rotation, and visual brake check for $19.99. Up to 5 quarts conventional oil. Shop fees extra. Most vehicles at participating Midas.
Hi, Tom Bodette. Motel 6 is always thinking of ways to make it easier to book a clean, comfortable room for a great low rate. And this is the first test of our reservation by telepathy system, commencing now. Now. Wait a minute. Now. Well, you can still call 1-800-4-MOTEL-6, book online at motel6.com, or with our cool new app on your tablet or smartphone. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on.
How much time? 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Okay. Enough kidding around.
Ho, 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 ho.
And now it's time for the Buddy Martin Sports Page.
He actually had me stay here last night in his gym.
It's like I don't fit in. It's like I don't belong here.
Let's go talk to a couple of guys that never gamble.
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put you on the poorhouse at the same time. He didn't think we could do it.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slice.
And now, here's Buddy.
All right, time for a little sports talk here on Buddy Sports Page on Thursday. We seem to be pretty much mired in the NBA for the most part in the world of sports these days. We'll talk some about that. I want to mention a team that hasn't gotten much pub. And we got Mike Bianchi from, is it the team or the game?
I don't know.
No? What do you think it is, Hunter?
The game.
It's a game?
The game.
The game, okay. He'll be on, we'll check him out and find out what he's got with thoughts. He always has some kind of controversial thoughts. I want to get his take on why everybody's jumping on Nicky Saban so badly. Everybody wants to rip Saban. It's kind of like when Spurrier was winning all the SEC titles, and people love to call him the devil and call him the evil one and all that sort of stuff. And Saban's getting his fair share of that. I guarantee you today that probably Coach Davis up in Gainesville may have regretted making that comment about the fact that Muschamp worked for the devil himself when he worked for Saban. I'm sure that backfired on him, and I'm guessing already there's an email from Coach Davis to Coach Saban saying, I didn't really mean it that way. It just came out after a couple of drinks at a booster party.
You know Saban, listen, I like when people hate me for being better at this.
Oh, he didn't care?
He loves this.
He didn't care. No, absolutely. He didn't care about that. No, I mean, Spurrier used to laugh at him. He stirred up on purpose. That's why I loved him. All his great comments about Free Shoes University, and you can't spell a citrus bowl without a UT. And I mean, look, where do you get that from a coach, you know? No, but,
not in today's game.
No, and every now and then even Spurrier last year, whenever he had, a couple of years ago, when Clowney got arrested, mistaken identity, remember? And Spurrier at practice one day had the cops come out and lie and put his handcuffs on.
That was
say, see, it can happen to anybody, you know?
But that's the kind of stuff, and that's when football's fun, man.
You do have Michigan coach was sort of taking some shots at Notre Dame the other day.
Yeah, but they
I like that.
There's a difference in pulling somebody's chain and taking shots. Throwing it out there just to pull people's chain is one thing, but just coming out and firing at somebody.
And what did Spurrier say last year about the real Death Valley?
Yeah. Clemson.
Like a week before the game.
Because they, of course, Baton Rouge is where they call it Death Valley. And he said something along the line, is that the real Death Valley or something like that? Of course, he was referring to the fact that Clemson called theirs Death Valley after the Death Valley in Baton Rouge. So, yeah, he's good at that. He'll tweak you every now and then. Pretty funny stuff. All right, JJ, let's go headlines. Let's talk about NBA and what's going on there. We'll talk to Bianchi in a couple of minutes. What you got?
The Heat series finally over. It took one more game than we thought it would. After 5 games, the Heat had defeated the Bulls. It was close last night, 94-91. The Bulls had the lead most of the second half. Wade and company stepped up. I say Wade because he was looking horrible.
Hello, D-Wade. Where you been, brother? Welcome back.
He looked like his knee was bothering him very badly.
Looked like he was toast for the playoffs to me.
Then they taped it back up. He came back from the locker room. He was a whole different man. Also, last night, stealing a conference final berth, Memphis Grizzlies.
You're Memphis Grizzlies.
Yes. Sort of unexpected from most people. Defeated the Thunder 84-88.
Does anybody know who the coach is for the Grizzlies without looking? Not you, JJ. Come on, guys. Come on, give it up.
I would say Scott Brooks, but that's the Thunder's coach.
Hunter, do you know?
I don't know, buddy.
JJ?
I know exactly what he looks like.
Lionel. Come on. Lionel Hollins.
Richie.
Hollins. You don't even know the name of your team.
No, I don't.
Your coach,
it's
man.
not my team. But I know all their players. That's all that really
By the way,
matters.
wears a good suit, too. Looks good in his suit. But, yeah, here's a good example. A guy's done – he could be the coach of the year, technically, and yet we don't know his name.
Exactly. Another team where you're not going to know many people's names could clinch tonight. Indiana Pacers, 8 o'clock TNT against the Knicks at the Garden. Pivotal Game 5 for the Knicks. Came in to the playoffs, second-best record in the East. Lots of hype. Looks like they're going to go out like they always do.
Yeah, apparently J.R. Smith missed the bus a couple of weeks ago because he hadn't shown up yet.
Neither has, Melo or anybody has. Spurs
can't shoot the ball. They can't keep saying it's all about missing the shots because they're just not playing good.
No, they don't play as a team.
Not playing good defense.
They don't play as a good team. Spurs tonight, they could clinch. This is actually Game 6. 3-2 Spurs. They play the Warriors at 10:30 in Oakland, so that should be interesting. David Beckham retired today. Well, he will retire at the end of the season. They have a couple games left for PSG. David Beckham, known sort of more as a celebrity than as a soccer player to a lot of people. David Price today, your boy. AL Cy Young
I'm worried
winner.
about him, man.
Yeah, put on the disabled
list. He may be
today.
done for a while. Tricep injury last night. I saw a little.
Yeah,
little
he
blurb
gave
on
up
that.
4 runs in 2 1/3 innings. Not very good.
Their best arm.
Dirk Nowitzki said he's willing to take a huge pay cut next season so Mark Cuban and the Dallas Mavericks can try to sign Chris Paul and or Dwight Howard. And in unfortunate news today, Dick Trickle apparently committed suicide.
Man, that's not good.
He was 71.
Arguably one of those famous names ever in
How could it
sport.
not be?
Yeah. But, gosh, I hadn't heard much about him. Tom, you're the NASCAR guy. What do you hear about that?
You don't hear it's NASCAR's gone very secretive all of a sudden because they just got reversed. Matt Kenseth just got some points given back to him. And so NASCAR in the last 4, 5, 6 weeks has decided we're not going to say much of anything. We're going to do it all behind closed doors, which it's a family-owned business. They don't answer to investors and people like that, so they can do that kind of maneuvering. But in the long run, all NASCAR does by closing the doors and saying it's our game, we'll control it how we want to, is just going to cost them viewers and fans. But you're not hearing much out of NASCAR, and NASCAR says we don't have to tell you anything.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's the news from the top of it. And
before
anything
we
else,
go
JJ?
to break,
Yeah, what's
yes. I had to look this up because you just made this statement. I thought you were wrong. Although LSU Tiger Stadium was constructed nearly 20 years earlier, The Death Valley nickname was first applied to Clemson's Memorial Stadium, in reference to Howard Rock, which was taken from the desert in Death Valley.
So Frank Howard called it Death Valley.
Correct, and that's why
that was wrong. It was maybe it was the original Death Valley being the one that's really a Death Valley. You know, but that's probably what it was.
Yeah, because they have magnificent volume levels produced within.
Yeah. Every time I hear that Clemson fight song, I get frisson. The word of the day, by the way. Let's take a break. Come back. We'll talk to Mike Bianchi next, right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
That word's going to get us in trouble.
Streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Since 1976, Daniel L. Hightower, a lawyer, has been fighting for accident victim justice in North Central Florida and statewide. He believes everyone in America should follow the rules, including the insurance companies. He and his firm have experience fighting for victims of personal injury, wrongful death, workers' compensation, and Social Security disability, as well as serving those in need of help with bankruptcy, simple wills, and estate plans. The mission at the law offices of Daniel L. Hightower, PA, is to represent deserving clients and recover the maximum benefits they are entitled to by law in a timely manner. In personal injury and workers' compensation cases, there are no fees or costs unless a recovery is made. The law office of Daniel L. Hightower is located at 7 East Silver Springs Boulevard, Suite 300. For your free consultation, call 352-629-7777 or 1-888-LAW-1976 and visit danhightower.com for more information. Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, fighting for accident victim justice, and the proud sponsor of Ask the Cops.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin for WinStar Medical Research. Every day we hear another story about innovation or about the cutting edge of technology taking place right here in Ocala. The power plant, IHMC, Ocala 489. But did you know that important medical research is also being conducted here that will impact hundreds of thousands of people in the country someday? Maybe you've heard the name WinStar, but like so many others, perhaps you didn't realize WinStar Medical Research is one of the top facilities of its kind anywhere in the U.S. There are important studies being conducted by a highly qualified team of medical experts at WinStar, impacting decisions of major pharmaceutical companies and bringing new drugs to market. And you can be a part of these studies, as so many local people are right now. WinStar has conducted more than 500 studies since its inception and would like to extend an opportunity to you to be a part of these. Call 877-629-5800 or 352-629-5800 if you'd like to know more. WinStar Medical Research, locally owned and operated in beautiful downtown Ocala. WinStar, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Hi, this is Tom Schmitz, the host of Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA. The Saturday Sports Page is your weekend destination for everything sports, from NASCAR to golf, baseball to boxing, and of course the best, most comprehensive football coverage on the radio. Also, you don't want to miss my weekly Are You Kidding Me rant? So join me and JJ LaSalva every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. for Buddy's Saturday Sports Page on WOCA, The Source.
WOCA. We may not have the kind of winters they have up north, but Florida weather can be still pretty rough on your ride, and Ford Lincoln of Ocala wants to save you money and time during their Restore Your Ride service event. Right now, you can drive into Ford Lincoln of Ocala, receive a free brake inspection, and if it's determined you need brake work, you can receive up to a $50 rebate on any Motorcraft brake service when you use your Ford service credit card. And if it's tires you need, Ford Lincoln of Ocala's Completely Satisfied Service Center can hook you up with up to $120 in rebates on any of the top brands, backed by their low-price tire guarantee. So stop chasing all over town for this service and that service. Get it all done right, the right way, at the right place at Ford Lincoln of Ocala during their Restore Your Ride event. There's also great savings on Motorcraft batteries, wiper blades. You know, my dad used to say, don't wait till it's too late. Get it done now. Visit Ford Lincoln of Ocala's Completely Satisfied Service Center, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 6, and Saturdays till 5.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
In the battle of the leafy greens, kale comes out on top. Gram for gram, kale has more vitamin C and A and K. Plus, kale has 3 times more lutein than spinach, which helps protect your retinas. 61% of human resource managers said a tattoo would seriously hurt a job applicant's chances. Do you have distilled white vinegar in your home? Doctors say this is a great natural bug bite remedy because it neutralizes the venom.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
News Talk 1370, WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults, so use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000, 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370, WOCA.
All right, more on the Athletes in Trouble segment. The latest is Chad Johnson, formerly known as
Ocho Cinco.
Thank you very much. How soon we forget, right? A warrant for his arrest.
Is he Chad Johnson again?
Yeah, he's Chad Johnson.
Okay.
Went back. Apparently didn't help him much. He's wanted. He did not report to his probation officer. So they confirmed down in Broward County that the former NFL star has a warrant for his arrest. It stems from a domestic violence incident last August with his then-wife, Evelyn Lozada. He's accused of headbutting her. So, Ocho Cinco, oh no.
Good for them. Lock him up.
Yeah, he's, just always could never buy into that guy's act. I just couldn't. I mean, I know he was flashy and he had all these nicknames and he did a nice dance, but somehow or another, something didn't resonate about that guy, and maybe that's the reason why.
Well, I got something that resonated today across the golf world.
Is Mr. Golf in the house? By the way, JJ, we need to have this thunderous voice, and now it's time for Mr. Golf.
How would you like this scorecard? How would you like this scorecard?
Is this Mr. Golf here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keegan Bradley today at the HP Byron Nelson.
By the way, I picked him in the Dead Gun Players Championship. He never showed up.
No, he didn't.
1 week too late.
Golly.
Keegan Bradley opens the Byron Nelson today with a bogey on number 1 and closes the round with a bogey on 18.
Must have had a bad day.
Good thing he had an eagle and 10 birdies in the middle of that round.
What?
Keegan Bradley has 1 eagle, 10 birdies, 5 pars, and 2 bogeys.
No way.
10 under 60.
60?
To open up to Byron Nelson. He shot a 60 with 2 bogeys.
Almost a David Duval 59.
That's a 58 that got missed right there.
All you have to do is just par the last hole. He's got a 59.
He's got 59 if he pars 18, or if he opens it around with a par, he's got 59.
Wow.
He birdied 2, 4, 5, eagle 7, birdie. He went from 7 through 13. He went eagle, birdie, 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 birdie. Then he parred 14, and he went birdie, birdie on 15, 16.
That's at Byron Nelson. I played that golf course many, many times with Bradshaw.
That's not an easy golf course.
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, you can get it rolling. You can score on it. But
there is one guy that didn't even get a bogey.
Ted Potter Jr.
Teddy Potter?
Ted Potter, 6 under, tied for 3rd right now.
How could you not get a bogey and be tied for 3rd?
Because the guy that got 2 bogeys had an eagle and 10 birdies.
Wow.
Just think of that stat line. An eagle and 10 birdies. Let's count that. That's 11 holes where you scored out of 18.
It's insane in golf.
That's ridiculously on.
Looks like he's rolling his balls, they say. That putter going, that long putter he's got there.
So the Byron Nelson going on right now out in Texas. Really a big tournament, too. People turn out because Byron Nelson's part of it. But, of course, Tiger's not there, so JJ won't be watching.
Speaking of Tiger,
if Ted Potter's up there, I will be watching.
Last night I'm watching the local news on Channel 2. Sorry, Dave Pingelor, I was flipping around watching stuff.
He'll probably like this.
Well, I mean, they did on the news team did a segment on Tiger Woods.
Not sports.
Not sports. Okay, and they had this story that said they teased it. Said, did Tiger Woods lie about what happened between he and Sergio? I thought that sounds kind of familiar, So I hang around thinking maybe there's another development because we knew what we'd already heard that day and said on this show that a marshal had come forward and said no, Tiger did talk to him, and he did tell him he'd hit.
Well, originally, 2 marshals said he lied, and he didn't say it. Now, other marshals the next day came in and said he did.
That's what I just said.
No, you didn't say originally that the marshal said he'd lied. You just went right saying the marshals said he hadn't lied. Okay. We can roll the tape back if you'd like.
Well, I thought we'd establish that when we started. Anyway, the point is that yesterday I see this tease on Channel 2, and I'm thinking maybe something else has developed. He did lie, he didn't lie, he did lie, he didn't lie. And so
the anchor comes on and says, some marshals at the Players' Championship said that Tiger Woods lied, that he really didn't. They didn't tell him that he had hit. I'm thinking, yeah, and what's new? And that was it. They were a full day behind the story. Now, I'm a stupid idiot, and I make stupid mistakes, and I get things mixed up. But I think I could have got that right. That's what happens when your news team, when your news team handles the story of which they know nothing about.
They had nothing else, just that Tiger Woods had lied. Marshall said he'd lied.
Well, that was it. I was doing nothing else. That was the story. That was the story.
And it was last night.
That's
correct. They were almost 2 full days behind.
I'm talking. My words coming out, or
no? I was confused. There for a
all
moment.
right.
That's almost 2 full days behind.
Yeah, well, at least a day. I know that. So
it's local news.
All right, so that's what happened. Now, you're telling me a story about Rocco meeting. By the way, Mike Bianchi, he just texted me and said, sorry, in a radio meeting, can't do it. So we won't have Mike today. We'll get another time. Coming up at 5:30, Michael Compton will be giving us his a local angle to the story about Orb, who races for the Preakness. And by the way, is a 1-to-1 favorite to win. And
1-to-1.
That means if he did, he would become, of course, the horse trying to get a Triple Crown in the Belmont. So, what's this about Rocco Mediate and Tiger Woods?
This was on the Faraday show. I don't know if you ever watched this.
I love David Faraday.
It's a good show.
It's a great show.
But it's basically a sit-down interview type show. Rocco Mediate was on it, and they asked him about Tiger Woods because this whole Sergio thing, he isn't the nicest guy on tour. So Rocco told a story about how he tried to get Woods to sign a couple mementos he had from the 2008 U.S. Open in which they played in a playoff, and Woods won.
Yeah.
Apparently...
When was this?
This was in 2009 at the Players.
Okay.
So the next year, he asked him... He left him all these things. He left, let me see, a pin sheet, whatever that is. I don't play golf.
It's a sheet where you come out in the day and tells you where the pins are going to be located that day.
Okay. So he left him a note requesting an autograph and an inscription. He said, I'm going to put it on my wall somewhere. It's a photo of the two and the pin sheet. Tiger, I guess, signed the photo, didn't sign the pin sheet, and didn't really put anything, no inscription or anything. So Rocco goes on Faraday last night, tells a story, and he said, I decided to throw everything in the trash. And to me, it's just like another crybaby golfer crying about Tiger. Shut up.
Look at...
Wait a minute. Hold it a second. he did what? He threw it in the trash?
Yeah.
You know what? He probably really ruined Tiger's year by doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
see, he comes out.
He showed him.
What JJ didn't tell you about this story is the way Rocco Mediate requested he do this. I'm surprised Tiger even signed it. He leaves it, and this is what he says, buddy. This is the note he leaves Tiger. And this is according to Rocco Mediate. Look, sign these for me. Write something on there. Personalize it and sign the pin sheet. I'm going to put them on my wall somewhere. That's why I'm asking you to do this. I'm not real sure I'd even assign the damn picture with that kind of request.
That's just Rocco. That's how Rocco is.
Rocco's always
that's how he talks. Everybody. That's just his personality. So.
Well, he did sign it.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he didn't write any inscription, and he didn't sign the pin sheet. And Rocco said, I got so disgusted with it, I just threw it away.
You know what's really cool about it is that Tiger has revived interest in golf now, where we're talking about golf a couple of times a week, and people are interested in it. Every time the news comes on with something about Tiger, it's like when Tebow was on fire. Yeah. Now suddenly when Tiger is a Tiger story, everybody wants a Tiger story every day. My wife, who didn't follow sports that much, if she hears Tiger, she stops right away. Everybody wants to Tiger.
I saw pictures of him and Lindsey Vonn on a boat with his children
Tuesday.
now. Woo, it's getting serious, buddy.
Bro.
He's with the kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Fishing.
It is good.
Well,
she's with...
This brings up feuds in golf and everything. And I got to looking into the best feuds in golf. And, JD, I don't know if you and Hunter remember this, but remember Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson?
Oh, yeah.
They went back and forth. Didn't Steve Williams call Phil
VJ
Mickelson?
and Phil hated each other?
Phil Mickelson got called something by Steve Williams that we can't say on the radio. But is there any better feud or rivalry in golf than in the 1960s when an upstart, pudgy, silver spoon born in his mouth country club kid came after the blue-collar guy from Pennsylvania. Is there a better rivalry or feud in golf than Arnie and Jack?
Well, there was a great one. It didn't last very long. Jack soon just completely dominated.
Dismantled Arnold.
But, I mean, Jack was fat. He was ugly.
Yeah.
And he was beating Jack. Beating Ernie, the king.
And people were not happy.
And not happy with Jack. They called him Ohio Fats. They called him every name in the book. I mean, they really didn't like Jack Nicklaus at all.
And now him and Arnold weren't like real buddies until the 90s, were they?
They were
until
very
the
much
90s,
rivals.
they patched it. They
behind their backs, they trash each other a little bit, whatever. But they got to be friends later on in life, and they appreciate each other.
But you lived right through there. You were covering that rivalry. You knew Jack. I mean, you've sat in a hotel room with Jack Nicklaus before having conversations.
Yeah. I've had a few conversations with Jack. And, of course, he became like the ugly duckling. He blossomed in 1970, 71. His wife, he lost all his weight, changed his outfits completely, restyled his hair. He became a handsome guy. From being Ohio Fats, he was kind of...
Because he was a crew-cut, heavyset guy.
Yeah, well, he wasn't even a crew cut. It was a burr cut, And he wore khakis, looked like they were, size made by Omar the tent maker, at that point in time.
He looked a lot like Tim Herron, but with short hair.
He looked worse than Tim Herron.
Wow.
Anyway, the point is that, no, he did that, and he did. It was a great story. He transformed himself. And not only that, we're going to break after this, he was hated by the media for beating up on the hero. So what did he do? He comes in the press room and starts charming the guys at the press tent by knowing the names of everybody that asked him a question. You ask a question, he'd say, "Yeah, Tom, that's right." He remembered your name from forevermore after that.
So Jack could have been a politician.
Well, I don't know if he'd be a politician. He just made an effort to really change his personality and became. And then the other thing about Jack, the greatest thing about Jack Nicklaus is not all the majors he won, as far as I'm concerned, and not all the things he's done, is that every time you went to him with a legitimate question, he answered every one of those questions in depth. And he gave you not always the popular answers, certainly not politically correct. He gave you stuff. He filled up more notebooks and more tape recorders than any player I knew. He was fabulous at that. So we owe him the media owes him a big debt of gratitude. That's why I'll always be a Nicklaus fan. At one time, my all-time favorite athlete, Jack Nicklaus.
I can tell.
We'll take a break, come back, we'll talk about Triple Crown dreams. Shook McGahey going for a win. And also whether or not Orb can be the candidate to become another Triple Crown winner. Right here on the Voice of Ocala Buddy Sports page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, streaming live at WOCA.com. The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz. The Angie Lewis State Farm Agency is located at 1122 Northeast 36th Avenue, where visitors are always welcome and the coffee pot is always on. Call your good neighbor's State Farm agent today, Angie Lewis, at 294-2444.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. I want to tell you about a conversation I had recently with General Manager Pat Murray on the great family atmosphere at Country Club of Ocala.
It's a family-first club. Again, we have any number of different types of memberships, but obviously the one that attracts the greatest level of interest is our family. And the reason for that is we have a little something for everybody. I mean, we obviously have a world-class golf course. We have 7 tennis courts here for all levels of tennis players. We have a junior Olympic-sized swimming pool. We have a fitness center that's second to none. We have state-of-the-art equipment in our fitness center.
Country Club of Ocala, where the facilities are all a family would ever need. For more information, call today at 352-237-6644. That's 352-237-6644. Country Club of Ocala, proud sponsor of Monday's Gator Report and Gator Talk Thursday right here on The Source.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Robin and I will be speaking to Ron Felber. He's a retired deputy sheriff, transported federal criminals, fought Golden Gloves, and holds a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. He's coming out to speak about his book, A Man of Indeterminate Value.
Open for debate, where you get to choose the topic.
And then Brad Broersma and Josh Verdunk will be on the air with their show, Winging It, from Ocala Aviation Flight School.
Marjorie Hines is a civil liberties lawyer. She's written a book called Priests of Our Democracy, the Supreme Court, Academic Freedom, and the Anti-Communist Purge.
And then it's Ocala Magazine Radio with your host, John Sotomayor, the executive editor of Ocala Magazine.
Don Snyder is a New York Times best-selling author. He's written a new book called Walking with Jack, a father's journey to become his son's caddy.
And they will tell you some of the things that you can do this weekend and in the upcoming weeks with the Viva Florida 500 set of events. All of that plus Fun with Joe right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Phoenix Promotional Solutions, your company supplier of banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Where you give them approved artwork by noon, the next day by 4 p.m., you pick up your banners, digital decals, yard signs, and magnetic signs. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404. That's 368-2404. Don't forget, they do vehicle wraps also. Phoenix Promotional Solutions, 368-2404.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 a.m. and 96.3 FM, The Source.
You've got a garden, and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Ocala Radio, WOCA.
All right, welcome back to Buddy Sports Page. Time to go out to Baltimore now, Baltimore as they say up there. Some kind of horse race going on there up this weekend. Has to do with Black-Eyed Susans. And our friend Michael Compton, our intrepid correspondent, and the regular guest on his show called Horse Country, joins us now all the way from Pimlico Racetrack. Hey, Michael.
How are you guys today, buddy?
Apparently you're doing great, huh?
Oh, really excited, yes. And starts tomorrow with 4 stakes races and the Black-Eyed Susan Stakes, which is, the sister race to the Kentucky Oaks the day before the Kentucky Derby. So, yeah, I couldn't be more excited.
Well, it's going to be a fun weekend, and we kind of, the Preakness kind of sneaks up on us because it's only 2 weeks. Now, we get an additional week before the Belmont, so the Preakness, I always forget it's coming, and here we go. And
right.
We're going off to go racing again, and all of a sudden, Orb made the prohibitive favorite, huh?
Yes, definitely, and drawing the rail. And, as we've talked about a lot, and we talked with Augie on your show before about Orb, I mean, he's a horse that you couldn't throw out of the Derby. Then he definitely proved superior to everybody else over that track that day. But I'll tell you, coming up to this race and listening to his trainer, listening to his exercise rider, and everybody that's close to that horse, in so many years of covering the Triple Crown, I've always heard the trainers, and I know you have, after the Kentucky Derby, a lot of times they'll say, if I can just keep my horse where he is, we have a good shot at the Preakness. These connections are saying this horse is getting better every day. So that's a pretty daunting, if connected to any of the other horses in this race, that's a pretty scary thought to think that Orb could be getting better, not just trying to, maintain where he was in the Derby.
I think his run in Kentucky is one of the most underrated. That was a tremendous run coming from where he came in the muck, and to finish that race like he did. I don't know how to judge this horse. I can't tell. I mean,
Right.
I don't believe he's Secretariat, but I mean, you can't go by times because he ran in the mud. Now, is he a mudder or is he just a great horse?
Right, and this week I even caught up with Niall Brennan in Ocala of Niall Brennan Training Stables and did a little piece on him because he broke and trained Orb when he was a youngster. And talking to him, he said, hey, this is a horse that everything he did, he got better after. You just have to teach him once, and he would constantly get better. So it's kind of fitting to see this horse develop like that as well, and he just keeps getting better. Prior to winning the Kentucky Derby, he never really posted any fast times. It's My Lucky Day was faster, Golden Sense had run faster, and then you put them all on a racetrack together, and I don't really know, I couldn't tell you how much the track surface had to do with that performance, but to see this horse continue to train like he is, he definitely seems like he's a horse that's on the improve still.
You mentioned in your piece in Blood Horse, which I've got in front of me and read, interesting piece about Niall Brennan, stables in Ocala and Niall, and he's quoted as saying he always moved forward. One of those, taking into account his pedigree, you figure would get better with time. Well, I liken it to, let's just say, a promising young sophomore. Maybe you got two promising young sophomores, and then all of a sudden, after midway through their sophomore season, one of them figures it out, and he just jumps ahead of the class. Is this the kind of horse that Orb could be?
He definitely could be that type of horse. And another thing that Niall mentioned to me was that this horse was a little nervous before he stepped foot on a racetrack, and he's also shown that tendency before races to get a little hot, a little lathered on his neck. But once he steps foot on the racetrack, even the jockeys who've been on him will tell you he's a different horse once he steps foot on the racetrack. So again, not only just a sophomore athlete developing as they go along, but also maybe with the mindset, maybe he's a very intelligent horse. He gets a little nervous, he gets a little worked up, but once he's on the court, so to speak, he's good, and all those jitters go away. And he definitely looked like a man among boys in the Derby. So I'm really excited to see what kind of horse what kind of race he produces on Saturday. He's got a few of the same horses he's facing against, but he trounced them last time. And one new shooter really in departing, who won the Illinois Derby. Those seem to be his biggest challengers coming back. Golden Sense, Oxbow, It's My Lucky Day. And all of those horses have speed, so they're going to put themselves in the race early, whereas Orb is likely to drop back, especially after drawing the rail. So he's going to break from the inside. Not as big an issue here in the Preakness in a 9-horse field as it is in the Kentucky Derby with 20 horses. But he should get a clean trip, just drop right back out of there at the start and make his big run. So I'm anxious to see if he can produce a similar kind of performance or better. Shug McGahee said we really could be in for a treat, really, in how he's been training. If that's any tip-off as to how he's going to run, and he can get this Preakness under his belt, it'll be a real exciting 3 weeks leading up to the Belmont.
No concern about the fact this is a shorter race. He came from behind, didn't have as much time to make up ground. Is there any concern on your part there?
Not if he's the horse that his connections believe he is. I wouldn't worry whether it's a mile and 3/16 or a mile and a 16th or a mile and a quarter. It's just this kind of racetrack here at Pimlico, it does carry speed a little bit. So horses like Golden Sense and It's My Lucky Day, it gives them a better shot, at least to hit the board and get close to Orb if, Orb is that kind of horse. The one drawback to drawing the rail is everybody can keep an eye on Orb. And, jockeys are known to race ride time and again. And, they're going to make it as difficult on Orb as they can.
Michael Compton of michaelwcompton.com, also Blood Horse. He's in at the Preakness in Baltimore at Pimlico. Let's see if we can break this down. For people outside of racing, they may not understand the significance of the royalty involved with this horse. In Kentucky, they certainly know about the Jennings and the Phipps. Two families are well known, of course, in regards to the horse racing business. Got their first Kentucky Derby winner, Shug McGahee, beloved trainer, long time, well known in the business, and what it means to those families. And I think they've got a lot of people rooting for them in the business, don't they?
Oh, they really do. They really do. And this is one of those, and we know from tracking the Triple Crown the last couple of years, even on your show, when some of these trainers jump out of nowhere and the 2 weeks, like last year with Doug O'Neill and different drug positives and the different connections that they've been involved with leading up to the Preakness, those were a lot of the headlines. These families are horse racing royalty, really. Very steeped in tradition. They've bred and raised many of the top horses in the history of thoroughbred racing. And, their families, respective families' involvement goes back 100 years in this game. So I think I mentioned it before. This is the type of horse with the type of human connections that I think the racing gods can really get around. So a lot riding on the Preakness, definitely.
I got a feeling I know who you're going to pick, but go ahead and give us your 1, 2, 3 for Saturday.
Well, yeah, if Orb's the horse that everybody thinks he is, he's got to be your number one. But I look for It's My Lucky Day. I believed in him a little bit going into the Kentucky Derby, and I think he's going to bounce back with a better effort here. And I look for him to run a big race. Those are my 1, 2. Oxbow ran pretty well in the Derby, and Will Take Charge did too, kind of deceiving efforts. And Departing, those should round out your exotics. But if Orb's the horse he's supposed to be, I hope we're all in for a treat, when he's storming down the stretch on Saturday. Any word on the weather in Baltimore on Saturday? Well, it's been gray today, and I think there's a slight chance of rain for Saturday. It has been gray. It's not real. I mean, it's in the 70s, but it's been gray and overcast, and I think a little bit of rain on Saturday, which I guess Orb won't mind that, really. Yes, I think he'd be glad to see those raindrops falling out there. That's the way he ran in the mud before. So, Michael, enjoy the race. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you when you get back. Thank you, buddy. Michael Compton of MichaelWCompton.com. And a really good guy who knows a lot about horse racing on the segment we have every week called Horse Country. Okay, JJ, give me a favor. Look up tonight's NBA games. Let's talk a little about the team nobody ever talks about. The
Indiana Pacers.
The Pacers. I mean, they are so good. They're going to finish off tonight, New York, pretty sure.
They should. If they don't tonight, it's not going to make it too much longer. I don't think this is going to go 7 or anything like that.
Yeah, you talk about this guy. Give us the schedule, but the guy nobody talks about is Paul George.
George Hill also, yeah. Roy Hibbert.
George Hill, yeah. But Paul George just makes so many great plays.
Paul George is the best, I think, out of the bunch.
He's averaging 18 a game. I think he's a guy. He's the leader of that team, I think. And then, how about Roy Hibbert? I mean, he had that one game. He looked like Lou Alcindor.
Roy Hibbert has been somebody whose whole career you've thought he's the big man with the height that just doesn't have the skill, and he's never going to get there. He was pretty good in college, but this year, man, especially in the playoffs, this guy's coming out to play.
Let's be honest. They got Psycho T on this team. That's all that matters.
He doesn't play
Tyler
much.
Hansberg gets his 4 minutes a game. That's what's making Indiana great.
3.8 minutes a game, actually.
See, I told you, 4 minutes a game. North Carolina grad, that's what's getting them through the playoffs.
What's great about them is they all play defense, and there's not that superstar that's going to, throw up 30 shots a game and have to get his 25 to 30 points.
Carmelo?
Yeah. Paul George, exactly. That's what I was getting at. Paul George, the most, averages 18. George Hill, 16. David West, 15. Hibbert, 13. So everybody's consistent on the team. There's not one guy you can just, prevent from scoring, and the rest of the team is going to fall by the wayside like the Knicks do. This is an overall great team, and they took 2 games from the Heat last year with Danny Granger. I think they're a lot better this year than they were last year. So we'll see what happens.
Well, if you go out to the mall where we'll be in a month or so, and you walked outside and said, "I've got a gift certificate for $50 right here. Name me 3 members of the Indiana Pacers."
Nobody.
You stand there all day.
Nobody
would know. I guarantee you they would come up with no names. This is a
Reggie
no-name
Miller,
team.
Mark Jackson,
Rick Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, you would not get who's going to get Miles Plumlee and Jeff Pendergraph and George Hill and Roy Hibbert and the 2 Hansboroughs, not 1, 2 of them.
I would get Hansborough, Hibbert, and George.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Tyler Hansborough, 4.9 minutes a game. His brother Ben.
Yeah, you got it mixed up. You got your Hansboroughs mixed up. That happens sometimes. But here's the deal. Who knows the coach?
I have no idea who the coach is.
Another one. Frank Vogel.
Frank Vogel,
Lyle Hollins and Frank Vogel. We
know
don't know these guys. They're faces. So there's a lot of good players, a lot of good coaches, a lot of good teams that don't get a lot of pub. And everybody's talking about the Knicks and Carmelo and J.R. Smith and that they can't win. And they're forgetting about a really good basketball team who's played extremely well.
And you're entirely correct, buddy. There are a lot of really good basketball teams, and then there's the Miami Heat.
Well, you know what their record is?
They've lost 1 game in the playoffs.
That's correct. But their record is even more incredible than that. If you look up their record in the last 48 games,
they're 44-4.
45-3.
Oh, 45-3.
45-3 in the last 48.
And 2 of those losses were to the Bulls.
Yeah,
correct.
And so insane, absolutely insane. So
and also tonight, 10:30. The Pacers game's at 8 in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
I always watch a lot of the late game if the early game starts at 7. So obviously the late game starts earlier. Not tonight. 10:30 tip-off. Spurs Warriors. Makes it tough around here to watch it because that series is awesome.
Yeah. By the way, Paul George leads the team in scoring, 18-3. Leads the team in assists with 5 a game, and leads the team in steals. He's
Awesome.
having a pretty good year.
LeBron of the Indiana Pacers.
And nobody knows him.
Before we go to break, Sacramento Kings voted down moving to Seattle. And let me tell you, David Stern, is a great orator, and he never minces his words. He always has meaning behind his words. When he went to the mic at a shot at the people in Seattle, he's still a little ticked at the people in Seattle. He said, look, concerning the Sacramento Kings moving to Seattle, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I got to get to a basketball game in Oklahoma City.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's not going to let them. They voted to keep him in Sacramento. There you go.
He said they're staying in Sacramento, but you know what he meant when he said, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I got a game to get to in Oklahoma City.
Right,
he meant that that was directly aimed at the Seattle media and the Seattle fans.
Exactly. All right, we'll take a break, come back. We'll be joined by Franz Beard right here on the Voice Book Out of Blaze Sports page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase across the fixed rate allowance.
Mayday! Mayday! Our buyer blew it. He ordered 38 cars instead of 8. And now we have got way too much inventory.
Hey, this is Chris Spears from Prestige Auto Sales. I've got to sell these 30 cars extra fast. I'm going spastic, so I've got to do something drastic.
Qualified buyers with $5 down can drive a nicer, newer car today. Who knew $5 could get you a nicer, newer car?
Well, it can, because I'm in a jam.
Is bad credit causing you distress? My For the People credit approval process just may save the day. Get approved for a nicer, newer car you'll love. Mayday! Mayday! Get down to Prestige Auto Sales right away. The Mayday madness ends after we've cleared 37 cars.
My name is Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit Prestige Auto Sales or call 694-1234. See you at Prestige.
Hi, this is Lisa Midget, owner of Kinetic Motion Fitness here in Ocala, Florida. A lot of you have experienced our great classes in personal and small group training, but did you know we now offer dynamic workouts on DVD? These high-quality, locally produced, effective DVD workouts can go where you go. Going on vacation? No problem. We can go with you. Friends and relatives out of town who are jealous that you get to come to KMF? No problem. We ship anywhere in the United States for free. Our great lineup of 4 DVDs includes Kinetic Achieve, Kinetic Couples, Kinetic Core, and Kinetic Campus. 4 great workouts for the entire family on DVD. Sound interesting? Check them out on our website at kmfocala.com. While you're there, check out our class schedule and come see us. We're only 5 minutes from downtown across from the Skylark Plaza. Visit kmfocala.com and like us on Facebook. KMF will get you results at our studio or at home with one of our DVDs. Kinetic Motion Fitness. We're ready when you are. Visit kmfocala.com for more information.
Accident, injured, hurting, pain affects so many of us and keeps us from enjoying our daily routine. This is Dr. Riyad Fakuri, board-certified chiropractic orthopedist at the Fakuri Medical and Chiropractic Center. Let me visit with you to answer your questions. Let us help you help yourself on the Head to Toe Care Show every Wednesday, 11 a.m. on WOCA. Again, that's Dr. Riyad Fakuri, here to help you on the Head to Toe Care Show every Wednesday, 11 a.m. on WOCA, The Source.
You know what a photobomb is, right? It's when you take a photo of someone and someone else suddenly thrusts themselves into the photo. It's supposed to be funny and ruin the picture, but sometimes it actually makes a better photo, a better end result. Well, that's what happened to me at Kenny's Place Nursery. Well, sort of. I was looking at some flowers when these caladiums caught my eye. It was like being photobombed by a plant. Well, it worked. The caladiums from Kenny's Place Nursery now sit beautifully in my garden with my floral plants. And if the wind is blowing just right, you might find yourself taking a photo of a rose and get photobombed by one of those caladiums. Kenny's Place has caladiums in a variety of colors, and the 1 gallon size is only $3.50. Kenny's Place Nursery is located at 7677 Southeast 41st Court in Ocala. Give them a call at 867-1213. Kenny's Place Nursery, where the plants, the people, and the mission are all beautiful.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
All right, just a couple minutes, we'll be talking to France Beard. We'll get his take on what's going on there with Rolando McClain. We supposed saw him play at Alabama when Florida played against him. And also a new point guard up in Gainesville. And we talked about Devon Walker last time not transferring, so Billy Donovan getting that program together. And a little bit why Nick Saban keeps getting bashed by people. You know, we saw what Tim Davis said about him earlier this week. And I guess it's sort of sport. You know, like they used to call Spurrier the evil one, that when you're number one and you're winning all the championships, you're fair game, and everybody's taking a shot at Nicky Saban. So it's become the thing to do. We'll get Franz Beard's opinion on that right now, going to Gainesville Live. Mr. Beard, did you hear about all the stuff regarding Nick Satan they're talking about?
Yeah, it's when you're on top. Everybody takes their shots at you. Remember when Urban was on top? He was Urban Liar.
Right.
And so, yeah, Nick's on top. But you know what, buddy? It makes good conversation at a Gator gathering. I mean, I remember when Steve Spurrier used to call Florida State Free Shoes U. Stuff like that happens. I think it's kind of fun. I think it's part of what makes college football so much fun.
Yeah, one thing about it is a good mixture for people who are having to cover the beat when a coach goes to a booster meeting and gets a little alcohol in him. You know, what he might say and how it becomes a huge story as a passing comment. I don't know the situation with Tim Davis, but apparently I saw the quote that he making references to the fact that Will Muschamp worked for Nick Saban, or as he said, Satan, or the devil himself, he said, for 7 years. Of course, that went viral, so to speak. And earlier, James Franklin took a little pop at him, and then had to back off of that. So I guess, like you say, when Spurrier was, he was called the evil one, and Urban Liar. When you're winning and you're on top, people love to take pops at you.
Exactly. And I guarantee you, Nick Saban.
Yeah, you're saying it
got
now.
Me saying it. Nick Saban is sitting there and giggling about the whole thing, and envy is the greatest form of flattery.
Exactly. Let's talk a little hoop real quick. First of all, you watching the NBA at all?
Oh yes.
Most underrated team we've had in a long time, the Pacers, in my opinion. They're really, Frank Vogel's done a fabulous job there, and a team of no names.
Well, I like the Pacers, and I like the Memphis Grizzlies, too. I like the way these two teams are playing. And would it shock me to see both of those teams make the finals? Not in the least.
Well, they're not going to beat the Heat, though. I don't believe anybody's going to beat the Heat. Do you really think they'll beat the Heat?
Oh, no, I don't think they'll beat the Heat, but it wouldn't be surprising to see one of them make, well, actually, Memphis is in the West. Yeah. Indiana's right. Indiana would have to play the Heat next.
Right.
So, I don't think they'll beat the Heat, but I think they'll make a great Eastern Division Finals, and I think Memphis has got a real shot to play the Heat in the championship, and I think they got a chance to make it a very interesting series.
Yeah. Franz, we got 15 seconds. New point guard Billy Donovan picked up this week. What do you know about him?
Reminds me a lot of a guy that played for Providence in 1987 and got the Friars to the Final Four. Billy somebody or another ended up coaching at the University of Florida.
Yeah.
Exact same player, just a little bit quicker and maybe a little bit better defender, but the exact same player as Billy.
Yeah, and he's short. I can't pronounce his name, by the way. I won't even try, but
Chris Chiazza, and he's a legit 5'10". He's not 5'11". He's taller than the 5'9". Some have him at. He's a legit 5'10". 10. He's quick as a water bug.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, we're out of time, France. We got the music playing in our ear. Thank you, buddy. We'll talk to you on Monday. France Beard joins us every Monday and Thursday on the program. A little Gator report there. I want to thank our guests today. We had Ted Schott, Larry Martin Gregory, and co-host of the first hour. We didn't get Mike Bianchi. We'll get him later. Also, Michael W. Compton, who's at the race up in Baltimore, and France Beer. Our thanks to Sean, JJ, Hunter, and Tom. I'm Buddy Martin. Have a great night, everybody.
Requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price fixed rate allowance.
Mayday! Mayday! Our buyer blew it. He ordered 38 cars instead of 8. And now we have got way too much inventory.
Hey, this is Chris Spears from Prestige Auto Sales. I've got to sell these 30 cars extra fast. I'm going spastic, so I've got to do something drastic.
Qualified buyers with $5 down can drive a nicer, newer car today. Who knew $5 could get you a nicer, newer car?
Well, it can, because I'm in a jam.
Is bad credit causing you distress? My For the People credit approval process just may save the day. Get approved for a nicer, newer car you'll love. Mayday! Mayday! Get down to Prestige Auto Sales right away. The Mayday Madness ends after we've cleared 37 cars.
My name is Chris Spears, and I'm a dealer for the people.
Visit Prestige Auto Sales or call 694-1234.